In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Look no further than Alaska's #1 real estate team at alaskashometeam.com. Decades of local experience, knowledge, and expertise in the competitive real estate market. Alaska's Home Team makes buying or selling your home a breeze. Give them a call today at 907-277-3777.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings, retreats, birthdays, bridal, and baby showers. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska. Built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation. Find their products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more at the Treehouse AK and other dispensaries around the state. Ask your local bud tender about AKO.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
You guys got me. You guys got the line, man. I'm so sorry.
We commit the whole night to it. I did have a question though.
All right, are we on now?
We're going.
All right, we're going.
We're fully going.
Well, give me a heads up. Fuck.
Oh, hey. Might be the latest one.
Oh, shit.
I already got mine. I was wondering where you guys were at there.
Oh, what is that, a seltzer?
No, it's a caribou call.
On, man.
Don't act like you're drinking a big boy's drink. We all got to be quiet because you got to open that drink.
See how I like kind
Put that a little closer.
to the side?
Yeah, what is up with that switch? How come you switched away from beer to...
Just the IPA gut.
Oh, okay.
Moscow Mule, is that what that is?
Does that,
a little bit more.
You feel better the next day with that?
No, actually, it gives me a terrible hangover. So,
Yeah. Why don't you try the double shovel, dude?
Well, no, bro.
You never had one of those? You won't have a hangover if you drink that.
All the time.
All the people that are not from Alaska, we got an Alaskan-looking guy. He's got a beard with the Dallas Cowboys hat.
Yeah.
And then he's complaining about IPAs, and he switches to a seltzer. So I guess that's just to give a heads up. The Alaska now he's pouring in a little cup there.
Oh yeah, it's a Moscow Mule, boy.
Yeah, you need to get them as our advertisement.
I'm getting muled up. I'm about to make an AK Mule here in a minute.
What's that?
I don't know yet. I'm about to find out.
Well, maybe we can have Scotty holler at the Pink Whitney boys.
How do you not know what an AK Mule is? And there's 4 guys here. Like, should we be worried about that?
It seems like it would just be going outside in your boxers, right, in this weather, this 0-degree day, and drink that. That's a lot.
Just
AK
crush
Mule.
All right, forget about his mule. Let's go. What are we doing?
So I was going to ask, You mentioned Latin late. Like, what exactly
Oh,
is
I was trying to explain to them how, like, every time we went to church, we were just come in right at the end when they're already singing. Like, we missed the entire
intro,
the entire like service, and we just come in for the singing and then the food afterwards.
So the best part about that is, like, Daniel's one of the only human beings besides like my cousin Ernie and stuff. Like, we kind of grew up the same way, because we went to church every Sunday at Lady Guadalupe.
Yeah.
And the parents took it serious, but there was a bunch of us kids that it was the most miserable time. Not saying anything's bad about church or anything, but when you're that age, it was like, when do we get to play?
Yeah.
So so when you knew there were certain times at church when your parents were late and they're already singing, and what church goes an hour.
Yeah.
And so there was always certain times when you knew certain points of it were like, and as a kid, you don't know the time limit, but there were certain times where, like, oh, they're singing. That means there's only 20 minutes left.
Perfect.
That means we get to go outside.
That means it's almost over and we can eat.
Because then it was the church we grew up with. It was different because everyone acted like and not taking it, everyone, the Lord and everything was giving the scripture, this, that. But the Latin people, they were like, when's the food coming out? Because when do we get to eat? And then when do we get to go play? So Daniel's one of those guys that actually, like, we grew up the same way. And I can't say that about many people. And we all grew up in Alaska. We all grew up the same way. But in the Latin culture, there are certain people that went to church on Sundays at Lady of Guadalupe. We did grow up a little different. So
yeah. We sat through those Catholic masses as a kid, and it was brutal. I can't sit still, and so my dad would just either grab my leg and squeeze as hard as he could right above the kneecap. I can still remember it. Or, like, if I was being an extra fuck off, it would be the neck. And then
the full pinch.
And then I have a brother and sister that are younger, and they're both fuck offs too. And it was like, if I didn't control them, then I got the squeeze.
It wasn't that. It was more like, you grow up and my dad, we had to act like, strict. We're in the church.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's just how you grow up. And then it's funny because you get older and you happen to go to church with someone else and you see the kids fucking around. You're like, you guys can do that? Like, you guys can actually talk during
You brought
this?
candy brought candy to church?
Yes.
I always thought it was funny because it was like we were hardcore like all year, and then summer would come and it was like fishing, and we fished like every weekend, and it was like, oh, well, God believes in us spending time in God's country, and I'm like, what about the ski mountain? Is that not God's country?
It was like when there was a good soccer game on or something. My dad was like, oh, well, we're gonna stay home and just observe this for the Lord.
Well, it was more like,
eat some more fans.
I think the more in the Latin world is like, we had to dress up for church and we're allowed to play after, but you weren't allowed to get your clothes dirty because you got one outfit to go to church. So, we're still playing like kickball, soccer, whatever. And it was like, don't get this dirty. Don't get this dirty.
No grass stains.
Yeah. And then as soon as you got home, you changed and you were allowed to be a kid again. But that's going to a Latin church. We're all dressed up. It's probably phony, but we're all dressed up. Don't get messed up. That was the whole point. Like,
Do you remember your mom ironing, like fucking just all day ironing?
I remember one of the first girlfriends I had, and I'm like, or actually when I first left home, and I'm in juniors, and I asked my billet, I'm like, actually my second billet, I'm like, can you iron this? And she's like, who irons jeans? I was the kid that had, and I'm sure Daniel was, we had a crease. Oh, I thought that was normal until I got older and I'm at a party and I'm the guy I'm the idiot that's, why are your jeans like that? I'm like, well, what do you mean they're pressed? That ain't pressed. You have a crease. Like, so yeah, that's how my mom ironed. So I thought that was normal all the time.
Okay.
No wonder I was so hard to do.
Yeah.
Welcome to Alaska Wall Project, episode 39. We got the legendary Scotty G, Scotty Gomez. A little quick history here. All-Stars, North Stars, Wendler Rams, East High Thunderbirds, South Surrey Eagles, Tri-City Americans, New Jersey Devils, Alaska Aces, New York Rangers, Montreal Canadiens, Alaska Aces, San Jose Sharks, Florida, New Jersey Devils,
right, we don't gotta go to that,
Hershey Berries. We got it all?
Well, at the end, I kind of moved around. Let's say, let's remember the good times.
I didn't know about Ottawa.
Yeah.
Did you even skate for Ottawa?
Yeah, I played. I think I played. I don't know, 6 or 7 games. But what happened was
You took the check though.
no. Well, you always take the check, kid. That's one thing about a check. It doesn't matter what job you do. You're always taking the check. But it's a funny story. I thought I was done. I went down. I forgot, where was I at? Yeah, St. Louis. I got cut down. I thought I was done. And,
You're in the Bears.
And Adam Oates goes, "You're not done. You got to keep playing." And he was, probably the greatest coach I ever played for. So anyway, he hooked it up where I went to Hershey, and I'm in the Hershey Bears, and great guys, great organization, great everyone. And it got to the point where I was like, you know what? It's finally New York City's probably 3 hours away, and I'm staying in Hershey, but at the end I'm driving home to the city just to go home. And I'm like, I don't need to, not that I'm doing anything, it's like I don't need to be driving 3 hours, whatever. So I thought I was done, and I actually, this is a true story, I just got all my shots because I was going to go to a sanctuary that was going to raise panda bears and elephants in China and Thailand. And the only reason why I was going to do that, because I was like, I'll have that over my friends. I don't think I know anyone that's ever done that. So literally the day before I'm getting all my shots, it's like that scene from Major League One. I don't know how old your audience is, but when the guy calls him and says the Cleveland Indians are interested in you, and he's like, well, you could have said the Yankees, and it basically was like that. I've been out all night, and I got a call from my agent, and he's like, you have to go to the airport right now at 7 or 8. Ottawa just picked you up, and they weren't in the playoffs. I still to this day don't know why, but yeah, so that's where I finished my career. But I played like 10 games, whatever. I lived in Ottawa the last 3 months, but if that didn't happen, I literally was going to go help out orphaned elephants and baby pandas. And the only reason why, I guess it's good.
They need love too.
It's good. Well, but the only reason why, because we're Alaskans, and I was like, no motherfucker can ever say they did that. But I did that. So that's a true story. That is a true story. But, and I was with Ottawa. I didn't even play, but it was the end of the career. It was great. But yeah, so the Ottawa Senators ruined me helping out orphaned pandas and
derailed you.
Yeah.
So when they go extinct, we know who to blame.
Yeah.
The Ottawa Senators.
Global warming.
Guys.
I want to go
Blame
back.
Canada.
I want to go back to like the beginning of the history, and I want to start with Wendler.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't play hockey anymore at Wendler. They don't do sports, things like that in junior high. But one thing that I remember is when I was a big soccer player. I didn't start playing hockey until like my 8th grade of Wendler. When Ryan Cropper was like, hey, we should do wrestling or hockey. And we ended up choosing hockey because they had all the shit for us. But I remember the soccer team was like you, BJ Young, all these like crazy things. And what people might not know is that you were into baseball, soccer, all these things.
No, it was huge sports. And it's funny because so we go to Wendler, and I'll give you a history of that. I grew up in Airport Heights, and probably was the best athlete growing up. Trajan, City View, but in our neighborhood, Airport Heights, I was the man. So now we go to Wendler, and there's basketball, and you can go early. Well, I mean, why not? I'm the best
Before school.
Before school. Remember that?
Yeah.
So why not? I'm the best player in Airport Heights. Now I'm gonna go. I'll go show all the Wendler kids how good I am. Well, now you get to meet every other kid that comes in from different neighborhoods. And I remember going home to my dad, and I'm like, oh my God, man, I'm not even good. Like, I remember the ball got swatted away, I don't know how many times. And my dad was laughing. He's like, did you actually think you were good? He's like, that's how bad the neighborhood was. You were just better. So when that and football, I knew, because, to be honest with you, before elementary, I still thought I would probably either go to the NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, hockey, name all the sports, soccer too. And when I got to Wendler, I kind of realized that, like, okay, mark that off, and mark that off. But yeah, they used to have all that. And And soccer, I hadn't played soccer forever, but it was a thing to do. And I played soccer. 7th grade, I made the varsity team, junior high. And then my 8th grade year, I broke my wrist. And I had a cast. And I hope he listens to this, because I'll make sure he does. Coach Dye came into our lives. Coach Dye came into our lives. And he
might be the most epic gym teacher
one of the best gym teachers ever had. And
is he the tall, like slick? Like,
You'll see him at the blue line.
It wasn't
Mr.
that.
Dye, dude. I remember.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was more like all the other kids got the other classes. Like, they were the best at math. They were the best at science. They were, but there's one class that I was the man. It was gym. so Coach Dye comes into gym, whatever, and I had a cast, so I couldn't. And back then, you had to practice 8 or 10 times before you could go.
Yeah,
and I couldn't practice. And anyway, he cut me from the varsity. He cut me from the varsity, and
For soccer?
For soccer, and I already played on varsity at 7th, but because I had a cast, I didn't practice, whatever. So me and Coach Dye didn't really get off on the right foot, if you want to say. But Daniel can say this. Coach Dye is one of the guys that when we were in 8th grade, he started the hockey program.
Yep.
Oh, he did.
So yeah, so and this is the best part, is like we had hockey like second period, and that's the great thing about being home. It's still dark. It's so dark.
Oh, yeah.
And so the Wendler, besides where I grew up, East 20th, had the best ice. So the ice is zammed every day, and we had a hockey program. And Coach Dye put us in, and that's where I grew up with these punks and all that. And they think they're good at hockey. Well, now you're going to see something different. But we all had that, and it's so funny how it works, is what do you got, like 30 minutes? Or I don't even know what the break was, but we had hockey. Yep. And Coach Dye, so in second period, we all put our stuff on, played hockey, and and it was funny. That's how me and his relationship kind of took off, because it was like, oh shit, I didn't realize you were a good athlete. Like, because he cut me from the soccer team, like because I had a cast. But we played
Coach Dye,
me, you, Cropper, all of us.
A little history on Coach Dye. He was I went to Tudor Elementary, and he was the gym teacher at Tudor before he went to Wendler. Oh, and he was the first one that instilled before morning gym hockey. Yeah. And it was like the hugest thing. Like, you'd have to be there at like 7 in the morning. I would walk there and go, and he had all the sticks and all this stuff. And gym hockey was like the biggest thing. And then we went to Wendler. He went from Tudor, where he was my gym teacher the whole time, to Wendler, and then eventually he went to service.
And don't forget, like, and he's a great friend. So but Coach Dye. It's funny how we call him Coach Dye. He's a friend, Eric Dye, but Coach Dye, he's the cockiest motherfucker ever that came in. So he came in at Wendler our 8th grade year, and like I said, he cut me from the soccer team, this and that. And then once the hockey came on, but I can say, and it's sad to say, it's not sad, but the class I was the best at was gym.
Hey, you're not the only one.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and Coach Dye, though, was one of those guys that, remember, he set up tournaments. He made the teams even. Like, when we played gym hockey, I had all the worst athletes on my team, whatever. But he made it fun. And it
was his goal to like, he would be to be a teacher and be like, I'm going to come extra early or stay at lunch or stay after school to do something for these kids. Like, you got to commend that.
And there's tons of them, but it's funny because now that we're all grown ups, and it's Coach Dye. But he is one of the guys to give credit to, because he started the hockey program at Wendler. They had hockey already, but during class, we had hockey. That was one of the classes. Was hockey. Yeah. And it's one of the most, I grew up with these guys, and all right, maybe I was on a comp team. These guys are maybe playing house, whatever, but no one knows that. No one knows that at that age. And still one of the worst moments of my life. And the guy's been successful. He's one of my good friends, Ryan Cropper. I hit him so bad. I knew how to hit someone. I didn't know how to check someone, but I didn't know when someone's head's down. And I sucker punched Ryan Cropper so bad at Wendler. And I thought I'd feel good about it. And then after he was on the ground, I was like, that's not even cool. That's what someone can do. So I always remember Wendler hockey because of that.
It was humbling.
Well, it wasn't humbling. It was more like, don't do that. Like, I could have actually hurt that guy.
We're in Ryan Cropper's building.
What's that? Yeah.
He owns this whole building.
And the best part about it is like coming home, or not even coming home. Everyone always asks, like, you know, who do you hang out with? People you probably are this and that, this and that. I can honestly say that everyone I grown up with that I'm friends with, this and that, we all still have that drive, and everyone's been successful. There's a couple of, we all got that. There's a couple of friends that maybe went to different whatever. But the cool thing about it is, like,
everyone found their lane.
Everyone found their lane, and we've always, since the day we've been, since Wendler Junior High Rams, I don't think there's ever been a moment that I can talk shit more when I'm around my friends.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. And because it's like when I went to New York and in Jersey, and they got the attitude and all this. And I did have to remind people that, like, as I'm looking at the Alaskan map right there, where you motherfuckers, when the teacher pulled the map down, and we're right next to Hawaii, like you guys think you have attitude. You don't know what it's like. We're from there. Like, that's attitude. Like, so yep. I never lost that. And all my friends the same way. That's why, around people that are not Alaskans, I'm really nice to. How you doing? But around people that are from where we're from, yeah, I'm an asshole. Because, hey, you got to be.
Because we're all assholes. We can all take it. We can take it.
It's -4 out there. Yeah, you got to be an asshole.
Yeah. I'm a little grumpy about that, yeah. That's cool. I mean, you keep to your roots, Scott. I mean, I think that's what you're saying, right? Like, you come back, your friends, your camaraderie with those guys, the history, it's just instilled, right? Like,
but I think that's, and anyone else, all my closest friends that came, it's not that, yeah, I'm proud, but at the same time, it's still the, when I'm around you guys, or, around Daniel, I can still call him a motherfucker because he
he's not going to take it personal.
He slipped his beer. No, it's more like yeah, these are they're friends. These are people we grew up with. Yeah. It's not
day ones, man.
Day one, you can be yourself.
It's not even that. It's more like people just think that who you grew up with. No, good people find good people.
That's right.
And the way it is, Scott. It doesn't matter where you're from, whatever. But it's literally like, yeah, I can, hey, how you doing? Be all nice. But since he's known me since I was a kid, I'm the first kid that I'm an asshole. Like, yeah, you're like,
you can be yourself.
I'll be yourself.
Yeah.
And the best part is that I did the hockey thing, but all our friends, we're still it's still like we're 7th graders in junior high again.
Did Wendler win it? Did we win it?
Well,
I didn't play. I was watching you guys. I was playing soccer. Do you remember that? Did Wendler win?
I don't even know if there was a thing, but yeah, we were.
There was
good.
a tournament. I thought.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's just say we won.
I know. In 7th grade when BJ was like when BJ was the man. Yeah, we definitely never lost, but it was one thing about the East Side. If the athletes that made grades, we would have been better at every sport.
Hands down.
We would have been the best football team. But a lot of the guys didn't make grades. But the sports we did make grades. Yeah, we were always right up there.
Yeah. Let's move to East. Do you remember at our sophomore year, Coach Mays coached the soccer team?
Yeah,
and he made all the hockey players.
Yep.
Play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had played hockey for like 2 years. I wasn't good. I was just like, I wanted to play. Scott inspired a lot of people to want to play. My dad bought me skates and I went out and played, and Coach Harry Wilkie was just like, get your ass on the boards, Buitrago, every weekend. And then we went to East, and then Coach Mays did the soccer thing. And I was like, this guy doesn't know shit about fucking soccer, dude. What's he doing out here coaching?
Yeah, I remember we all had to do that. And I think the whole point was it was just more like a team. Hey, let's go. We're gonna be come on. Like, one thing we did learn. I mean, in it's hard to say now with kids or whatever, but the coaches we had were like, we're from the East Side, we have it wrong. We have it bad. We got to fight more. Like this and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all had to play soccer that year, and it wasn't even that. It was more like, it was just more like, I don't think people realize the more you're friends outside of the game, and when you're in the game, you're gonna take care of your friend better because you know that like you could be the worst player there is, but you're the guy that gets the beer, you're the guy that gets whatever, this and that. So you're gonna get taken care of better, and you're on the team. That's how team works. And so yeah, but I do remember that it was more of a we all played and the best part is we kind of had that attitude where no one really cared. We all hung out like it was just like, you know, and when we did have guys that like, you know, the soccer team, we did have the guys that like, they were more rough, they were more whatever. It probably was, most people look down on it, but at the end of the day, it built something. Like when you saw a kid in class, when you saw a kid getting made fun of, or you saw someone, whatever, you were the kid that stuck up for him because you did know
He was one of your guys.
you didn't, and not even if he was, he's the guy that's going to help you cheat off your paper.
We need grades.
But yeah, but you didn't know that like growing up, it was more like you got to be a part of some kind of team, and whether you're at this level, I'm on varsity, or someone's on JV, they're still part of our group. Where I'm allowed to make fun of you, but if someone else is making fun of you, no, that doesn't work. And we did go to the East, so there were some guys that could back it up. I wasn't one of those guys, but yeah. I mean,
You're friends with them.
yeah.
Well, it sounded like it was a cool, more like a team building, like off-season workout or off-season camp almost, right? Because soccer's in the summer, fall, or spring. What is the soccer season?
Spring, summer.
Soccer was at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the spring.
Yeah, baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baseball and soccer are around the same, but so it was after the hockey season then, and there was something to keep things rolling, like just keep guys
I think
fresh
so.
and
It was keep rolling.
keep the team together. Type
What we
stuff.
did, it was just more like you said, Coach Larkey, Rob Larkey, he was one of the greatest influences in my life. Coach Mays and stuff. It wasn't that they kind of like, they've already been there, done that, but they had it installed with us that like, we're from the East Side. We got to work harder. We got to and we still have it. I mean, that's the greatest thing about being in Alaska. Like, I was at a wedding one time, and the bride was from Diamond, and the groom was from East, and next thing you know is on the mic, it just went from like the Diamond Links going whatever they did, and T-Birds fly the highest. And like the wedding went on for like 30 minutes, just like, and people from outside the wedding were like, "What the fuck? You guys are still, like, there was still a high school pride in there." And so I think we did have great influences. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but yeah, if you got it, that's exactly what happened.
Let's get into Larkey, man. This guy's a fucking character. Coach Larkey was the high school hockey coach. He's still coaching nowadays. Every time I go play men's league, Sarvis league, or whatever, I see him. He's still coaching kids. He still looks exactly the same, and he still has the same fucking haircut. Obviously, the hockey cut, dude.
He's got the mullet.
No. He had the Barry Melrose. He used to. He's cut it down. He's cut it down a little bit, but people always ask, and there's certain people like, he's obviously one of the reasons why I made it to the NHL. And here's why. He's the guy that taught me confidence. So, and I'll give the greatest Coach Larkey story ever. Where I'm a sophomore, and he grabs the team, and we're all like, and he says, "All right, there's 3 rules. There's 3 rules." And now, I hope I don't know if people are listening. They get the picture. Picture Barry Melrose. He's straight from the 80s. Straight from the 80s. He's
awesome,
got the mullet. Oh, dude, he's got the mullet. So Coach Larkey says, Lark says, there's 3 rules to the game. He goes, you guys are going to start going to parties now. And I remember I was a sophomore. I was always younger. I should have been a freshman, but I was up in age. And he goes, all right, rule number 1. When you go into a party, you never fight a wrestler. ever, no matter what size he is.
That was rule number one.
So rule number one,
Damn good rule.
This is before like MMA shit. So so
It's sneaky. The
rule number
wrestlers are
one,
sneaky as fuck.
And I'm in the class, and I'm like, it was after I'm like, that makes sense. No matter what size he is, you never fight a wrestler. It goes rule number 2. When you walk into a fucking place, no matter where you're at in life, you're better than everyone because you're a T-bird. You walk in like you fucking own this place. You walk in like, goddamn, here he is. You walk in, I'm like, God, I get that. Or I'm right, I don't know, write it down. And I'm like, and he goes, you're the best thing that ever walked into this fucking party. And he goes, rule number 3, it's pretty easy. When you meet the guy better than you, just stay away from him. So Lark said that, and I thought that was good. He goes, hey, you can't go to a party being 100 proof scent. He's like, hey, pretty simple. When you meet the guy better than you, just know where he's at. Just stay the fuck away. He's in that corner. Go to the other corner.
Make some separation there.
Yeah, but hey, that guy knows more than you. But he also, it's like anything. It's like he taught us in life, like, you have to adapt. You have to change. If you're at a white setting, or if you're at not a white setting, like meaning if you're at a black tie, know how to act. Know how to act. Know how to
Chameleon.
act. Know how to act. Yeah. It's pretty simple. Know how to act. If someone's talking a subject you don't know, don't get into the subject. Unless they're talking about like Tecmo Bowl or something. Hey, get in the subject. But yeah, if someone it's pretty. And so I remember he was one of those influential guys that like, and still to this day it was like, yeah, he was a guy that so we're I'm sure we're gonna go a bunch of other places, but so Larks goes like this one time. We're in the locker room, and the big games in high school they were all packed. And I was one of those
Boki
one. And I was one of those naive kids that I always thought that like, oh my God, just everyone loves watching hockey. Like, the crowd, it was packed. I mean, it was the best day. Like, good and days. I went to one of the junior games last night, and it reminded.
It was packed too, right?
Yeah,
Wolverines?
the way it should be, whatever. So, but that was our high school. Like, it didn't matter who was playing, but yeah, obviously, so it's packed. And I remember being like, God damn, man, these guys, they love hockey like this. And as I got older, like Boots, all the boys, they were like, are you that fucking stupid? I was like, what do you mean? They're like, everyone was getting banged up in the parking lot. By the time they came in the rink, they were all fired up. I just thought everyone was into hockey. So yeah,
just drinking
all early. By the time they came in, everyone's already loaded in the. And I was like, I just thought all my friends and everything were, God, they love hockey. Like they're excited. They're drinking in the parking lot. I would have been the same way.
That's why tailgating is legal.
Yeah,
you got to tailgate, man.
That was the Alaska tailgate, man. Just with the bottle of Crown in the truck, just getting after it right before the game. Get in there.
It wasn't just SoCo and grape juice.
Oh, back then, man.
No, I remember. Well, everyone's got their own drinks, I guess. But I remember the big thing was because no one liked liquor back then. It was boons.
Yeah.
Oh, if you got yourself some boons, you could drink that. And then you wonder why. Why the fuck do I feel this way in the morning? Like, you basically just drank a candy cane the whole time.
Candy cane wine.
Yeah. Like wine coolers were still cool. If you get your hand in a wine cooler, that was great.
I've said it on the podcast before, like when I learned to skate, my dad had bought me these skates and I used to practice right on my street because they used to not sand the street. Yeah. And I taught myself how to skate, and then Coach Dye started the hockey thing at Tudor and all that, and I would go skate there. Like, what was the beginning of you learning to skate? Was it Tequila or was it like
great. And it's been told a bunch, but my dad took me to a UA hockey game. And it was still at the sports arena where the college is. So my dad takes me there, and for some odd reason, fell in love with it. Like, I want to do that. So and that's kind of how the foundation.
What age was that, Scott?
4.
Oh wow,
I got into it really early. Yeah. Oh. So, and to give an example of how I'm way more mature than most people was, I started kindergarten at 4. And the only reason why I started kindergarten at 4 is because my old man was like one of my best friends down the street. He was 5 and he was starting kindergarten. And my dad was so mad that, my mom needs a break. Like, but this kid gets to start school and Scott doesn't. And my dad's like, Scott is just as dumb as this kid. So I had to go take a test. I'll never forget that it was over on, before you hit Tudor.
You had to take a test?
Yeah, I had to take right on, so you're driving down Lake Otis before Tudor, all those those buildings right there, there's that,
King
the
Street
strip right
or
there?
King,
right before, now it's all like medical stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right where Don Jose's is.
So I had no. Don Jose's is going towards Northern Lights.
Lights.
You're going down Lake Otis before you hit Tudor.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I remember I had to take a test to be is he old enough to that's why I started school that young. So
pass the test.
well, yeah, because I
Can you
had to
make a circle?
that's Popeye. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a triangle. So my dad takes me to a game and I want to do it. So the Boys and Girls Club, people don't realize is like they on a Saturday they used to give out free gear. And only thing you had to have was skates, I think your own gloves and a helmet, and they gave out the rest. And so I'm in the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm in to learn to skate, and I absolutely hated hockey. Hated it. And so my mom, being Colombian as she is, I was like, Mom, they're all making fun of me because she's like, you're quitting today. And I remember going to my dad, and my dad's like, no, you're not. You got to finish out the year. Gomez's don't quit. He gave me the spiel.
Yeah.
This and that. So when I'm like 16 or 17, I remember me and my dad were going fishing, and I'm like, hey, Dad. Or I think I was 18. I was going to the U.S. camp. So it was one of those days. We're going fishing. I had to leave the next day. And I was like, hey, Dad, thanks for giving me the Gomez's don't quit speech, fucking went the wrong way. And my dad starts laughing. He goes, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? He goes, fuck, man, I bought you a brand new pair of skates. There's no way that money was going to go to waste. He's like, you're going to finish out that fucking year no matter what. So that's basically like how it happened. And then, I can't answer for other people, but I only had two rules growing up. And it was, you got to work hard and you got to have fun. I never had that pressure. Now, my dad was my baseball coach. We'll get into that later. That's a different story. But when it came to hockey, nope. I had two rules. You got to have fun with it. And granted, none of us knew what was going to happen. It just, but I can say I was one of those kids that like the teachers would grab my parents and they'd be like, "There's something wrong with him. Like, there's something wrong with this. Like, all he talks about is hockey. Every report, everything. Like, and you don't go back, whatever. But there was a teacher that basically said, like, to my mom, we were living out in the valley, and she said, "Your kid's fucked. He's fucked up. Like, there's something wrong with him. All he had is anything that had to do with school or anything, it had to go back to sports or hockey." And, back in the day, no one knew. It's not like today where, well, maybe this kid, it was like, there's maybe something wrong, but my parents didn't understand where it was just one of those things. I was just that addicted to it. And, how parents take, I always knew that wasn't going to take it away from me. So my dad was my dad's a man like, hey, I wasn't going to be the valedictorian, let's put it that way. But at the same time, we weren't allowed to get a D. But I wasn't going to break any, but they weren't going to take that away from me. Like, they understood that, like, and at the same time, I guess he's not that bad a kid. He's into sports. Like, So the hockey thing, it was UA. And it's funny because Coach Larkey, my dad snuck me into the UA camp. There's a bunch of kids and it's a Latin thing. Who knows? Probably should, but my dad snuck me in there, and
Just go and act like you've been here.
Yeah. Just get on the ice. Get on the ice.
Put your stuff on.
And my first instructor ever from the and I was pissed because our idol was Joey Hayes at that point, and Joey Hayes is in the middle. Every kid wants to be a Joey Hayes, and I get stuck with Rob Larkey
On the side circle.
And it's so funny, and him and you got to put yourself in there. Like, we're like, I don't know how old I am, 4 or 5, 6, whatever. So Larky's got to be in like his, 1920s in college, whatever. And he's like, what do we got to teach him? Let's teach him how to stop. And Rob Larkey was the first guy at UA that gave me a stick because I was in his thing. And it's funny how the life works. So like, I can't sit here. I'm not on your podcast today if it weren't for Rob Larkey. Like,
he's been there since that early.
Yeah. So I met him. Amazing. I met him at 4 or 5 years old. I was at his first hockey camp, and yeah, he was.
And he's still out there teaching kids now.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And it still wasn't. It was. I don't want more of an older brother. It was a mentor. Like, I didn't want to let him down. Like, I remember we got to 16, so Larks used to always take me fishing at the cabin. I'm sure we'll get in the fishing thing. I only knew fishing at the Russian River. The Larkies had a cabin, and me and Jason Motika were like 15 or 16, and Dean Larson, Rob Kahn, and a couple other UA guys were there the weekend before. And we're at the age now where we're like, fuck, we're going on, Larks took us, we're going to his cabin to fishing, and, be kind of nice to have a couple of drinks. Why not? But, it's our coach. I don't know how he's going to take this. So I said, we had a bunch of booze with us, and we're like, we'll act like it's under the deck, and we'll just act like Larson and all those guys left it. And so we acted like, we're all getting, after we're done fishing, we're getting the fire going, and we're like, oh my God, look what we found. And to this day, so we're like thinking, and granted, he's the coolest guy ever. So we're thinking, and I'll give that son of a bitch credit, man. He made us pour out the liquor in front of him, and we all know that age. We all know that age. No. We're like every drop. Dude, it's like we don't. How are we gonna get this again? And Larks made us pour all the booze out in front of him. And you look back, and now it's funny because we're close friends, but he brought it up one time, and it was funny because he goes, "What the fuck? I'm not going to be this. I'm not going to be the teacher that's got 2 underage kids drinking." It was. So that's Larks. That's I don't even know what the question was, but yeah.
Well, we were still on Larky. I mean, I think the original subject question was, and I think you couldn't have finished it off any better than that, dude.
It's a guy we didn't. He had that power over us, and he still does. It's a guy we didn't want to let down, right. And it's still like, and it's still one of the most human beings that I'm pretty quick. I always had the smart ass in me. That's why I probably wasn't good at school because I wanted to question everything the teacher said. But Larks is the one that taught us that, and we're from the east side where we did use that, and we're from Alaska. It doesn't mean it, but we did use that. Like, they're holding us down. We're from the east side. You got to work harder. Yeah, these
motherfuckers can't stop us.
Yeah, and it's great because every one of my friends that are from different schools, that it's still one of those things. It's people come visit up here, and they're like, "Why'd you guys get in an argument?" I'm like, "Fuck him, man. They didn't win state at football at the state." We've always. It's just always been that way, but. Yeah, I mean, it was, and times are different. We were all innocent kids. It was, you had to take pride in something. But I remember Larks goes, I think I'm a junior now, and current, and we're good now. Like, we won state at sophomore year, so now and I think actually it was our sophomore year, and Rob Larkey grabs, we're playing service, big night, Saturday night, and Larks grabs a piece of paper, and he goes to the team, and he says, "It's finally happened. It's finally happened. It's finally happened, boys. They're trying to get rid of Coach Larkey. They want me to resign right here." And he's got the paper right there, and we're all like, we're taking it personal, like, you don't fire a coach. Like, he's like, and he goes, and he rips up the paper, and he goes, "I don't give a fuck." He's like, "If this is my last game, we're going out there and we're beating service. So I don't get." So we're all like, "We're not losing this game." So win the game. So this is how dumb we are at the east side. And Larks is that. So the next game, this asshole brings up the same paper, and he goes, "Well, boys, they're trying to do it again. They're trying to, and Josh Kern goes, let me see that paper. And Larks grabs it and he tears it up and goes, fuck them. He was conning us the whole time. They didn't anything to motivate us. Anything to motivate us. But like, you're going to use that same line the second game, but yeah.
So the lead tasso right there, man.
So that's how we were.
Wow. Josh Kern, what a name
Yeah.
that he brought back, man. He's doing good out there.
Yeah,
Doing his
he's
hockey
doing
camp
great.
and all that stuff, right?
Doing great. And we had our, we're going to I think 3 or 4 years ago, we had our 20-year reunion when we won the national championship. And I got because my still idols are still Brian Swanson, Dean Larson, and anyone from Alaska. But the one bragging right I can say is, the best line ever to come out of Alaska is me, Josh Kern, and Jeff Carlson. And me and Josh played together at East. But yeah, he's one of those guys that probably everyone thought would never, probably go down the wrong path in life. Yeah. And he's done so great for himself. It's unreal. Man. It's unreal. At the end of the day, as we all get older, that's all you want to see is like, we're all still close, but at the end of the day, people ask like, why, you were successful, this and that. And it's like, yeah, because I grew up with people that everyone's successful. I mean, I made it in sports, but at the end of the day, I did hang out with people that were still driven and still, and obviously we all got friends that maybe weren't as driven, but whatever. But the majority of it, that's the way life goes. I mean, you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that circle
rules,
of that circle of friends that we had. I mean, doctors, lawyers, hockey guys. It's cool because we came from a place where that wasn't expected.
It wasn't, and I get a lot of credit now from younger people of, you set the standard. No, there's one guy that set the standard for all of us. And me and Daniel's age, it's Trajan Langdon.
Yep.
Like Trajan was the first guy that, he's the first guy that as you're getting better. And the one knock about being from Alaska was like, no one's going to see you. No one's going to know about you. You got to leave early. You got to go do this and that. And I remember, Dad, I was fortunate to grow up with Trajan, but he was the first guy that, he's a senior. We're freshmen. And I mean, Coach K, Bobby Knight, they're at Trajan's game. And I never forget, my dad was always like, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you're good enough, they'll find you. And so the reason why I give a lot of guys credit because, hey, that's the way life goes. But, when it comes to the state of Alaska, the reason why I'm here talking to you guys is because of Trajan Langdon. And he's a good friend. But I think the younger generation doesn't really understand that because, like I said,
he was the OG. He was the first, man. He was the first that ever shown any light on the possibility of doing anything.
He was the first kid that we know that, like, and I'm still embarrassed to this day because, getting your yearbook signed was a big deal, and I didn't have the balls enough. And I knew Trajan, but he was that big a deal. And he went to SAFE, so he wasn't always in the school. But when he was in the school, it was like Jordan's in the school. Like everyone knew that Trajan's in the school.
He's a stud.
And I remember I shouldn't say puss up, but I chickened out and I had someone go get Trajan to sign my book. So all it says is Trajan Langdon. I'm like, shit. Like, at least if I would have gone up there, he would have wrote something personal. Or whatever. So that's and it's so hard it's like when that The Last Dance came out, and as I got older, and young guys, even when I was coaching young guys, LeBron, whatever, and I still try to say to them, like, you guys got to remember, like, this is before the internet. This is, like, Michael Jordan was the biggest thing in the world. That's how Trajan Langdon was to the state of Alaska. Like, like, and the best part is like, it just shows how us Alaskans are. I've said it a million times. Is like, growing up, I hated Duke, like UNLV. Hated Duke, despised it. And as soon as Trajan Langdon went to Duke, our whole family, hey, we're Duke. The whole state became Duke, and that,
still Duke.
Yeah, and then even boot. Like I remember one of my good friends, Willie Dahl. He's in New York visiting, and it's not like we were going to get an altercation, but if you were from outside the group, there was actually going to be a fight. Who's better, Trajan or Boozer? And like if people didn't understand that, I'm like, no, and like I always say, hey, that's how Alaskans work, man. It doesn't matter. We're not bandwagoners, but hey, guys comes out. If you come out of this fucking state, hey, we got your back.
Yeah.
So
that's
yeah,
right.
so yeah.
Support, man.
And Trajan's the one that started that.
That's right.
He did, man. He set off. And if you think about the numbers compounded on how many professional athletes and Olympians now, from when he started, it's a lot.
And like I said, I can't take the credit because it's still hard for me to explain to guys. Like, it's still like when I see Brian Swanson or Dean Larson, I'm still a little kid again. Like, and they're my peers now. They've always been, but it's still to the point where like, hey, no one's taking that away from me. Where the whole point is like they're the reason why I was allowed to dream and do it. Because like my dad said, it doesn't, because you get a bunch of talk from the outside. You got to leave. If you grow up in Alaska, no one's going to see you. But if Trajan, he did it. Yeah. That's,
saying the UAA thing, like Dean Larson and Bogovich and all these guys, when we were going to the UAA games as kids, like that was the Sullivan Arena was popping. I mean, it was
people don't understand that there were scalpers outside the Sullivan Arena.
You had there
was
tickets.
Scalpers outside the Sullivan Arena to go. So I mean,
the Bethard brothers, like it was just, and that's just showed up to watch.
But that class from Dean Larson, Derek Donald, Jeff Batters, Bogigas, Jim Mays, Garnett Deschamps, like they're the reason why any hockey player that ever made it from the state of Alaska is because of those guys.
Yeah.
Like it really, because I mean, it's not anything. One thing about us Alaskans, you can call us bandwagoners, whatever you want, but as long as you win, that's sorry. And those guys backed it up. And then, and the greatest thing about those guys were when we were growing up, and you got to meet them. It started with Mike Peluso. It started with all those guys.
Yeah.
But they still treated us like gold. And the worst part was when you met a guy, and it's still to this day when you meet your idol, but the guys that grew up in Alaska that made it, or any hockey player, any whatever, when you mention those guys' names, when you met them as kids, they still treated us like, because they were royalty. They were royalty in the state, and they but they gave back, and that's why that's why all of them stayed.
Now they're all careers and stuff here and living here.
Talking about the Alaska loyalty, when I was a freshman in Reno, so I'm 2 years younger than you guys. So that would have been like 99, 2000 year. So the tons of Alaskans go down there, a lot of playing, right? In Tahoe and shit. Yeah. But the
non-athletes went to Tahoe, but there's a lot of kids that went to, a lot of the kids in my class, they all went to, they went to Reno.
Yeah, we went to Reno to go ski. But so the Alaskans would run into each other. There's like that Alaskan loyalty when you leave. But in terms of like supporting sports, when you guys made that run that spring, that was the one time that every Alaskan showed up at one bar to watch those New Jersey double games, all of us. And it was just like I met all these other Alaskans that I didn't even know were there to watch you play, and it was crazy. It was 20 years ago, and it was memorable to me how many times I went and watched those games.
And I mean, and that's the thing. It's like the hard part was when I made it, like all I could do was brag about Alaska. That's all,
Yeah, like, and then everyone hated you for it.
No, not hating me because no one hated me, man. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I'm on the team, man. No one hating, but I'll give you an example. And it was funny because I was talking about this tonight. A couple buddies. I'd be the guy in the bar where like I'm a young kid. I'm with the vets, and the hottest girl would walk in. I have no chance with her because I'm 19.
Yeah,
she's probably like in her 30s.
Yeah,
these guys got more. But I always said, I'm like, hey, if she's from Alaska, if we were in Alaska right now, I'd get her. So all the guys I grew up with, they always like, they knew about Alaska. Like I never ever stopped that where it was like, and the reason why it was our Alaska mentality. You can't explain to someone, it doesn't matter where you're from, what side of town you're from, this and that. You still have to have pride, because when it's -4 and this and that, no one knows what it's like to get the fuck up and go to school where it's dark. So I think all of us took pride in that, where it was like, so we all backed each other. Like, to be the guy in the bar later on, if I didn't know you guys and I see you at a bar, whatever, like, dude, as long as you found I was Alaskan, like, get the, now granted, if the guy's from Fairbanks or we still think it's different, but you're still, no one else is allowed to make fun of.
You got that bond, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Going out in Alaska and doing cool shit.
Exactly.
I love it, Scotty. Man, you haven't forgotten anything about your life in Alaska. I mean, it feels like you always carried it with you. Like you never ever.
It wasn't that. It was the thing that that's the one thing I have over anyone.
Right.
I'm still Alaskan. Like I remember two of my great friends, Jonathan Severson,
I know Johnny.
And Pierre Nicolette, and my cousin. They're all visiting me in New York one time, and we're at a bar, and a fan comes up, whatever. Hey, these are my buddies, and I remember one of them goes. The guy goes, "Are you guys more Alaskan than him?" Because they hunt, and they're dude. If we had to survive in the wilderness, I'll tell everyone out there, do not pick me. Like I'm still from the east side of Togo. Like, I got friends that but anyway, Jonathan and Pierre, they said to the guy and my cousin, they're like, yeah, we're way more Alaskan than him, because obviously they could survive in the wilderness. I couldn't.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that,
Outdoorsy.
and I fucking turned around and I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because I'm still one of those people. As long as you grow up in the cold and the way we all grew up, you might hunt and fish more than I did. You might do, but I still grew up the same way we did grow up. I'm just as Alaskan you are. But it was funny because my buddies. Now, granted, if we were on a show and who do you have to survive with, I'd be like, don't pick me. Like, can I be your friend? Because I did grow up in the east side of town. I didn't hunting and fishing. I didn't do any of that. Like, our fishing, but hunting, but if someone asked me, are they more Alaskan than you? I don't give a fuck if you're from Barrow or Prudhoe Bay. No. I still grew up in the dark. And I'm sure you guys got this question the whole time. As we got older, it was like, how did you guys do it? How did you do it? How'd you grow up in the cold and the dark? And you're like, really, dickhead? Well, it wasn't like I was 10 years old and I'm like, Mom and Dad, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out of here. Like, it's the only thing we knew. Like,
it's totally normal.
Yeah, it was normal. It wasn't, but no, and that's the point I guess I was trying to make. Like, no one will ever out Alaskan me, and I'm sure there are. I mean, trust me, everyone, but no, I will still take pride whether I'm still from this place. I'm still, I know what it's like to go. Yeah, I know what it's like to run from the cops at a party in minus weather.
And left your jacket.
So you've been to the Lost Abbey?
Oh, so the worst thing about the Lost Abbey was when that started and the kids were in greatest place in the world.
Oh my God, dude, the Lost Abbey.
Because everything.
Off Tudor Road, right?
It went from the Lost Abbey.
It's a church now.
It went from the Lost Abbey, and then you got older and like raves started. Mm-hmm. And the only thing you went to raves in Lost Abbey, it was like going to East Side Dance. You get to dance with girls. And the problem about anything that happened, it's like anything. The Lost Abbey was the greatest place ever. And then the bad kids came.
Yeah.
Where now, instead of just having a good time, now there's kids that are going to want to fight. Now there's, and that's what always ruined everything here. It was one of those things. Like,
that's true,
that's a state. That's a fact. It was like anything. It was like anything. We grew up here. If the party's going too good, it's like this is going to get broken down.
Yeah.
It's just the way it was, and then
this will be the last time we sing Paradise City.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know what night you were there. They didn't sing Paradise City.
I remember me and your cousin Ernie, man, sneaking in, jumping the fence, going into the back, going in there, and then getting chased out of there by some gang of some other fucking crew. Just insanity at the Lost Abbey.
Well, you guys were different. You guys were more into the gang thing and all that.
Well, we knew we weren't going to play sports.
Yeah. No, but you know, you guys. It's funny because like you know, when you guys started the rap thing.
Yep. Arctic Flow.
I wasn't Arctic Flow, whatever. But if it came on or whatever, I'm the first one.
Bumping it.
I'm bumping it. I'm like, what are they saying? I don't know. But you're a poser. No, those are my boys. Like,
from Alaska.
Yeah. You know, so it was. That's always the mentality I ever had. Like, you know, at least, hey, if you're gonna be Alaskan, know how to act it. Like, it doesn't. Like, you know, I remember asking a kid one time, Dave Brown, we're in a class, and New Jack City came out. We're in Wendler, and I said to him, I go, yeah, man. I go, you think you're all that? I go, because the movie came out, it was hot. I think we were, I'm like, yeah, that's what it's like. That's what it's like growing up in the ghetto. So I don't want to hear your shit anymore. Me and we were buddies, and he put me in my spot right there, and I never forget it. He goes, oh motherfucker, you think that's what it's like? He goes, the only difference is we just go up in the cold. I still have a syrup sandwich, but it's frozen. I was like, no shit,
A syrup sandwich.
And the kid told me that, and I was like, Dave Brown, I never forget that. He goes, man, it don't matter. Hey, like I'm just as ghetto as them. I was like, got it. Hey, don't grow up here and judging, man. Hey, we got it all up here. Like, yeah.
That's right.
Very
That's
true,
right,
man.
What do you remember about the East High Championship games?
Well,
Sullivan Arena for one.
We won our sophomore year. In the year we got killed our junior year. So it was, it's like anything. At the end of the day, well, no matter what you did in life, still one of the biggest things was, as growing up as a kid, is like to win a state championship. And I remember my dad said, and I'm a sophomore, so whatever. But now there's getting pressure from everything outside. And I remember telling my dad, I'm like, Dad, I gotta, I gotta go. Like, they're not gonna see me. They're not gonna find me here. And my dad goes, all right, I promise you this. My dad's a man of his word. Like, and he goes, if you win a state championship, you can leave.
No pressure.
He knew that we had no chance. Our sophomore year, we won. So now I'm like, Dad, I gotta go. And the greatest thing I can ever say, and I tell kids this today, and like I was younger than everyone in the age, but thank God I didn't have that parent where like my dad had to be my dad. Like, yeah, you ain't going anywhere, because when you do leave home, people don't realize, and especially we're from Alaska. It's not like mom and dad can come drive.
Yeah,
they come
see you on the weekend.
They come see you. Every other kid had that. It's and hey, yeah, I mean, we didn't have like when my parents were gonna fly every week. Hey, plane tickets expensive, whatever. But I do remember, my dad's like, all right, I did. My dad's a man of his word. He's like, hey, but you're not right. And I always thank them because I did have to leave. I was still sorry, but I still had to leave. And but kids don't realize like I said, mommy and daddy ain't coming in the weekend.
Yeah.
The homesickness. My first phone bill. So I leave home. I'm a senior. I leave home, and my first phone bill was $1,100. Back then, like, and it's still, that's a lot. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I don't want my dad to, because when I was that homesick that all I was doing was I'm calling friends. Hey,
Yeah.
how was school today? This and that.
Yeah.
Where you get over it.
Yeah.
But kids don't realize, like, everyone's so excited to get out of this and it doesn't matter. You still got to realize the human nature of it. Like, dude, mom and dad ain't there anymore.
Yeah.
You're with me. And I was fortunate. I grew up with the greatest people. My Billet family, both of them that I went with, they're still like a second mom and dad to me. But a lot of kids didn't have that. But no one understands that it was literally like, all these kids. Now it's different because kids leave whatever, but you're not ready to leave at 14, 15.
No,
Like, you're not ready.
yeah.
And especially the way we grew up, it was. I mean,
It's tight. Like, it's hard
still,
to
yeah.
leave
Like
that,
you're going,
right?
you're going away. You're going. There's a lot.
There wasn't a
Hockey's-
track record there. Like, people didn't know how it went
No.
after you left.
Hockey's the easiest part. But people don't put in the fact that you're you're in somewhere else. Like it's not a big deal because it never put. But I went from a school, East High, that was 2000 whatever, and when I went to juniors, there was a school of 300 kids, and it sounds, I lived in Canada, but I crossed the border every day. This is before September 11th, and Mexican joke, you cross the border, but I crossed the border every day, and I went to school in high school, but. And I still, to this day, they're still family friends. My coaches, I'm like, you motherfuckers, you guys fuck. I went to a 2,000 kid school where now it's me and 2 other black kids. Like, we're the minorities in the school. I'm like, what the? And they're still great friends. I still, to this day, Blaine High School, got tons of friends my senior year. But it was like, I just left home. Like, what am I doing? And no one understands what I'm doing here because I live in Canada. Why is this kid crossing?
Gotcha.
Why is this? No one got it. So it's just like, but it was the first time where I'm like, it's like anything. Growing up in Alaska, like people always try to bring the race card, whatever it was. I can still say, I'm like, people don't understand that Anchorage, it's a melting pot. Yeah. Like race was not like, man. I never, and the only time I ever, when I first felt that it was different is I made the national team. And I'm like 16, whatever. And it's the first time I'm in the locker room. And I was talking to a couple guys like about a month ago. It's funny because we went to dinner. And it was the first time I'm in the room. And I'm like, holy shit, it's all white people. Like I didn't grow up with that. So when people brought that up, I'm like, hey, listen, Alaska was different. No one cared. Like, it was that. And so like, same thing, like, hockey, everyone thinks it's just that easy no, there's a human element to it. You're not around your friends. You're not around people you grow up with. People are different. But if you don't know how to use the Alaskan card, you did it wrong.
Yeah.
Because, hey, I'm sorry. One thing special about it, all you had to say to someone, I'm from Alaska. Obviously, someone's going to ask, it's like being from Australia. What
are you doing?
Yeah, like, no, they're going to ask. That's a conversation. Yeah. I mean,
Well, even to this day, East High is the #1 most
diverse
high school in the nation.
Yeah.
And we have the top 10 most diverse schools in the whole entire nation.
So, and it's hard to explain to people, like, because it is. I mean, there's you're the only, you're Mexican, Colombian, and you're from Alaska. I'm like, well, yeah, but there's about 100 other races that are up there. Like it wasn't. It just, and that was also the cool thing. Like people didn't understand that, and that was the thing I took pride in. I'm like, where I'm from, there's everything. I've gone to every party. I've gone to I mean, it's just the way it was.
That's right. Let's take a quick break. If you got to pee, now's a good time. We're going to give a shout-out to the Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day because, honestly, there's always something good on deck. And, guys and girls, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement through the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, my personal go-to for authentic Mexican food. It's Anchorage's own new generation of cocina. Recipes are inspired by their rich heritage and family know-how. All ingredients are made in-house. There's a new tequila bar, and it is legit. I recommend the Mezcalita. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights. Now they both have bars. Follow their food truck location on Instagram and check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to you anytime, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
All right, we're going to jump into Jack's trivia here. Let's go ahead.
I think we should explain why we were laughing.
Okay, go ahead.
Because when the cameras were off, I was okay. Instead of us getting back on camera or filming, you guys are like ha ha ha, and then you go into the fishing store, the trivia.
Free Willy.
Oscar. How did Adam win an Oscar?
Blackfish.
How did Free Willy not win an
No,
Oscar?
Daniel's dad took him to go watch a documentary about killer whales at a young age. And I was talking about and I was talking about the other. I was like, your dad took you this. We're like 40, dude.
When I was 29.
No, that came out when we were like 38 or 37.
Yeah, my dad still took me.
He got you popcorn and Sour Patch Kids.
You want to hear Lou Lamoriello? That's a Lou Lamoriello story right there. Sorry, we're back to the trivia. All right, what's the trivia?
All right.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go. Trivia time. Trivia. With Jack Lau.
Here
Should
we
I
are.
have clothes on or no? That was creepy.
Everyone you get wrong, you got to start
No, I watch Dayline all the time. Dayline don't even introduce himself like that. Like,
No, Chris Hansen's coming in.
Yeah,
Chris
I'm like, Cromer, where are you at? Cromer, I know you got cameras in this place.
Scott, have you seen?
I mean, I like trivia. Hey!
You almost kind of look terrified when you were listening
I know I told you a couple Uncle Timmy stories, but
No, Uncle Timmy trivia. Uncle Timmy trivia.
No, Uncle Timmy don't even trivia this. All right, trivia. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Let's not do the creepy thing again. But what do I got to answer?
No, you said this how Spin Chicklets does it.
Truth or dare?
But yeah, but it's all guys in here. Fun of truth or dare. And I was saying that like we were in junior high. Like, there's no offense there, but yeah, that ain't a fun truth or dare. Yeah, you guys got beers, and I told you I'm not 100.
I told you I'm not 100.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before they came back in laughing like that, off the record, we were telling old Alaskan stories, and so we were laughing.
Yeah, off the record
And
story.
that's before the creep trivia thing came in.
Creep trivia?
Creep. That's all I heard. I was like, what? And I was looking at you, and I'm like, are you saying that?
read my lips when they weren't moving.
I swear to God. That's when you creep me out more. I was looking right at you. You saw my no, yeah, but you look at because the whole time we're having a conversation off the record, you're like, oh, really? So the weather was that way. So when the creep song was going on, like it's trivia time, creep. I looked at you and I'm like, what the fuck?
He shrugged his shoulders.
Everybody take notice how far Scott has moved away from us.
No, I turned to my right and I'm like, oh, it's coming from you.
Then you look over and his mouth's not moving.
No. He was still like in the creep. I've been blaming you with the Cowboys hat, and I turned to my right and he's creep.
I was blaming you with the Cowboys.
Hey, Daniel, show him again.
Oh, one more time. You want to hear it? One more time? Oh, no, that's not it. Trivia time.
Yeah, it was trivia time. My bad. I said creep. It was trivia. Yeah. Imagine next week it's like creep time.
Scotty's in the corner.
No, I think the name goes better. If everyone was in the room I'm in, that name should the creep trivia question. Sponsored by Scotty Gomer.
Sponsored by Scotty Gomer.
Hey, how did you guys' podcast take off? Dude, the trivia time, the creep trivia time with Scotty Gomer took off.
Next thing you know, we're up there.
People were asking questions, not right.
We need to have a creep trivia now.
No. Here we go. Let's go with the question. What do we got? Let's get a question.
Oh, get back to the real thing. All right. This product was invented in Alaska by a plumber perfecting his buttermilk dressing recipe while doubling as a remote cook.
All right. Okay, so we might need to change the trivia game, but would any Alaskan know that? Like, who the hell? I mean, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of fucking. I don't think one of my fucking friends would know that answer.
Well, that's why it might be interesting.
Well, no, come on. That's a bad question.
No, we haven't got one right.
I don't know who made buttermilk. Yeah, your guys' show sucks. I don't know anyone buttermilk. I don't know who made buttermilk out of plastic in Alaska. Your fucking fake trivia sucks. Are people listening to this? Ask me a wood question. Yeah, this burns faster than this. All right, that doesn't count. Next question.
That doesn't count. New question.
I didn't even really get it anyway.
All right, go ahead. What is it now?
You guys don't want to answer?
No,
No one
restate
knows
the question.
answer.
No,
No one
restate
knows
the
the
question.
Restate it. What is it?
This product was invented in Alaska by a plumber perfecting his buttermilk dressing recipe while doubling as a remote cook.
All right, so each one gets an answer.
Yeah, just
Who's
try.
going first? Who's going first?
You go, Scott.
No, you
No,
go.
Yeah.
for me?
No.
Oh, I
No,
usually
you
No, you
I
go
usually
first because you
blurt
like the
out.
vomit.
You
Blurt
acted, you
Go.
acted like you knew it.
What? Oh, you don't know this?
No.
So I didn't know this either, and the reason I asked this one is because it's actually kind of rad. It's something that we use a lot, and I had
Obviously,
no
dickhead,
idea.
but yeah, you don't say it's rad. Like, yeah, right. This is one. Get the answer. What's the answer? No one's gonna guess this.
Not WD-40. Out of buttermilk dressing.
Oil,
No.
crude oil,
Pretty close to my
Alaskan crude oil.
I'm going to say ski wax.
Ranch.
Oh,
Ranch dressing is actually invented in Alaska.
What the hell?
Yeah,
there
man.
you go.
Yeah. I thought that was cool.
All right, man.
Daniel
I gotta have that in writing because I'd be that guy.
All right, I'll send
I'd
it
be
to you.
that guy. I'd be that guy.
Oh,
that'd be
they'll
like,
drop that fact
oh,
bomb just right in a party.
anything with Alaska. I'll
Yeah,
drop
that's
it.
right. I was super proud of it.
I gotta know this is true though.
I was super
Before you start
fucking
dropping
proud.
it.
Well, no. Maybe the presentation's got to be better because I don't know if we were supposed to lie or no.
Lie about
Well,
what?
because you made it sound like it wasn't ranch. It was like plastic or aluminum.
I said buttermilk.
No, yeah, but you were like,
Next time, this is a food product that you use every day. You dip your chicken in it.
Next question.
All right. Well, so you're going last on this one, Scotty. So, all right. So this
Hopefully
one
it's a
has
good
to
question,
This
this
one
one.
has to do with hockey. So Scotty is the #1 point scorer in the NHL from Alaska with 756 points
Wouldn't even know.
and almost a point per game.
No,
amount.
not even.
Almost.
Not
It's,
even.
you got 1079. That's
Almost is like a 2, and we're talking about
you
a
got
10.
like 0.75.
All right.
That's
no,
pretty fucking good.
It's not.
All right. Anyway, who's
For high school
the?
hockey, it was.
This is your pro stuff. So
Get out
what?
of here. Get to the question.
So who as a Alaskans playing in the NHL is second to Gomez in points?
Ooh, I'm going to go Nate Thompson.
I don't even really know. There you go, Scott. No,
I'm going to say Doobie.
Yeah,
that
it
was my
is Doobie
second
at
answer.
438, and he has about 0.5 goals per game or points per game.
It never matters because when you play in the NHL, it doesn't matter if it's point or whatever. You play in the NHL.
That's right. That's right.
show.
And
check's coming
Alaskan
in.
in the NHL is
check's
cool as
coming.
fuck.
No, I'm just telling you the whole point. Forget the points. It doesn't matter. It's like you can score the worst goal in the world, but you just need that goal or assist. And when you get back to the bench, it's the greatest assist. Hey,
Yeah,
that's
right.
right.
That's it.
it.
Yeah.
So no one likes to hear like it's point this and that. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Next question. All right, you dick.
All right, this one's actually up your alley, Brandon.
all right.
For 23 consecutive years, more seafood has passed through this harbor than any other fishing port in the country. Which harbor is it?
This harbor.
So you should go
Dutch
last.
Harbor. Dutch Harbor.
Ooh, we got Dutch
I
Harbor.
don't care if there's a lion, whatever. Dutch Harbor. I'm going first.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, I know that's fine because I said it. Dutch Harbor. I'm not asking that. I'm saying,
get
hey,
one.
what's your thing? How many harbors you know here?
Yeah, that's the only one I know.
I don't really
That's
know
why I
that
got
many
it out there.
harbors. I'm like, well, I'm right up my alley, Jack. Okay.
No pressure. Here, we're not going to zoom in on you.
Man. Yeah, I mean, that would have been my guess.
Yeah, so guess that then guess
Dutch
that.
Harbor. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
we're waiting
Alright.
for you. Like, yeah.
Hey, dude,
That's
I'm
what
trying to figure out another harbor.
No,
We don't know
all
another
right,
harbor.
you
I
guys
know you don't know another harbor. I don't.
You
told you,
nailed
we don't know
it. You nailed it. It's Dutch Harbor.
All right.
You win.
Well, it's not that I win. That's all right. I listen to your guys' podcast religiously, and but it is the complaint I get all the time, and I'm like, I'll talk to them when I'm on their show. They canceled 3 times, but I'll be there. I'll go to, yeah. So I guess it had to be -4 before I got on. But I will say to the fans out there, I'll be like, I will ask these guys. You guys got to change the trivia game. The trivia game's horrible. Play that creepy song where I go.
One more time. One more time. Trivia time.
I think
With Jack Lau.
the whole point about a trivia, and unless you're really smart in school and this and that.
We're not.
Exactly. Well, I know that. Well, I wasn't saying. Well, then at one point did I say you guys were? But I'm saying, like a trivia game has got to. The best trivia games, everyone has a chance for the answer, and everyone's complaining about your guys' podcast that your guys' trivia questions. Play that creepy song again. Creepy.
Trivia
That's what I'm saying. They
time.
can't dumb it down. What kind of question? Ask them, hey, how many points did Michael Jordan score? This guy, yeah, ask something like that.
All right. Well,
I'm
we got
still
it.
kind of blown away. Ranch was
Yeah,
created in
I was
Alaska.
blown away as well. That's why I thought it'd be a fun one.
Of all the damn,
No, that's actually
Thanks,
known.
man.
It is right. That's you can Wikipedia that.
I mean, that one actually is.
It's legit.
But yeah, big
I thought it was a good one.
It's a great one. Like if you don't use that one, you're an asshole. If you're from Alaska,
Yep. Now you know when you go out to the States. Ranch is from the AK.
I've
I
given
think
you guys
say it-
so
I think
many.
You can say it. I think you can say it anywhere in the world. You can be in Anchorage and say it. You can be in. You can be
Nobody
in Barrow and be
knows.
like, "Hey, where's Bud?" Like, no, yeah.
You know where
Like,
Ranch was
if
created?
you're in Alaska, you know that answer. Good for you.
I've just given you
Unless
guys
it's
so
really
many
helped you in
fucked
the
up
world.
ones
Like,
that I
good
thought
for
would be a
you.
good one.
It is a good one. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
it's a good one.
But you guys are acting like, oh, you can only ask it at these places. That's what I'm saying. The fans were complaining about your guys' podcast. They're
Their
like, you guys are
trivia
too-
is just-
When you guys go to your trivia thing, you're too judgmental. You're just like,
We just look at you like, you don't know this?
Oh, as
you
if-
piece of shit. I thought you said you're from Alaska.
but at the production meeting before this, you guys were like, if he doesn't notice, he's an asshole.
Show us your Alaska pride.
No, let's get a Lou Lamarillo trivia.
All right. You guys ask. What do you want me to ask?
A trivia question. Lou comes in. Trivia question, boys.
Well, first of all, if we're gonna talk about the man, he ain't ever coming in and asking if there's a fucking trivia question. Did you ever watch The Godfather 1 or 2 and 3? That human ain't asking the trivia. Yeah. All right, I'll give you so. I feel like I'm yelling. Am I yelling or no?
No.
I'm sure I am. All right. But so Lou comes in one time, and it's after Niedermeyer left. So Scott Niedermeyer leaves, and we lost like 3 games in a row. And the Devils, that's like, and one thing about it, it's we lost 3 games in a row, and we're not looking good. Like, you know. So it's Christmas time, and I guess I'll say that, yeah. It's Christmas time. And Lou comes in, and he goes, we're having our Christmas party. Big deal for the wives and the girlfriends. It's Christmas party. If you can't have fun at the Christmas party, you're probably a regular call-in at this show.
You got the trivia wrong.
You're the one writing the trivia questions.
Motherfucker.
So Lou goes in. So now you guys, now that the stage is set, Lou goes in and he comes in and he goes, so we lost. And now Christmas, All-Star, whatever, when you get a break, you get a break. It's like, and none of us would ever complain about a day off, whatever, but everyone complains. But to get a break when you know you don't have to go in the rink, it's a like, and so that was, like I said, that was All-Star break, Christmas, whatever. So it's Christmas break, and we have a party, and Lou walks in. We're getting ready. The party's that night, and Lou walks in, and he's scary. But at this point, I'm probably like 24, 20. I've seen it, so I know I'm not getting yelled at. Or, you don't want to be selfish, but I've been playing good. Like, yeah, and this motherfucker don't care. Like he's like Belichick. You think like Stein? Like he's the guy. Like, and he walks in.
Is he Italian?
Oh yeah, Lamarillo. I don't know. Like,
No, I mean,
no, he's from Talkeetna. So
where they made ranch.
the buttermilk. Then the plastic came, and that's how
He made the ranch?
Yeah.
It was the predecessor, man.
And this guy comes in and he goes around and he grabs the guy. Not grabs him, but he goes around and he goes, "You motherfucker." Or probably cuss, but he goes, he goes, "Every time I sign your check, I want to puke." So he says that, and it's like, now imagine you guys being in an office meeting, and that's the first thing your boss says. Like, it's like, and they're like, it gets the room's attention.
Yeah.
We're like, holy
At the
shit.
Christmas party.
No. The Christmas party is going to happen that night. And he goes, "You motherfuckers are having a party? You having a party?" He goes, "You don't even like each other. Your wives hate each other even more, and you're having a fucking party." We did have a party that night, but it was still I mean, you ask about a Lululemon, like, yeah, he was.
Was he coming to Anchorage and watching you play? Or was it like word of mouth? How'd that go?
It was more like the scouts and all that. And
But I'm sure he was the final word. Like, yes.
It's the final word, but here it's the final word, but at the same time they have scouts and everything. But one thing about it was like, I met Mr. Lamarillo, I guess to say, Lou.
Get it right.
Yeah,
Has he ever been Lou to you?
I mean, there's got to be a couple times where it slipped out, but he's a boss. You're not calling him Mr. Lamarillo. You're calling him Lou, but it's still like,
yeah.
If I'm talking around other people, you're not going to. Anyway, he goes, so when I was 16, 17, I was at the World Juniors, and it was in our camp was in Jersey. And so we got to see New York Rangers Devils game that night. Gretzky was playing for the Rangers. So it's the World Juniors before we're going to the thing. We're getting announced. No one cares, whatever, the World Junior team. But we're at the game, and like four of us were downstairs. Me, Ty Jones from Eagle River, Alaska.
Yeah.
A couple other guys, forgot who it was. We got offered to go to see Lou Lamarillo's in his office, his Stanley Cup rings. Obviously, the coach that got asked that knew exactly that doesn't. He's not asking. Like, we're going. We're going. Like, there's the group. We're like 6 of us. We're going. So we go in the room, and and now that I know the man, like,
In hindsight,
it's more like he's got more. This last thing he probably wants to do is like, but he's still USA Hockey, he's still like the man, whatever. And so we go in his room and he shows us the rings, the game's playing, and he's got this whole wall is just all the players, right? And me and Ty Jones are in the corner, 2 Alaskans, and we're like, we're kind of like, It's not a big, other guys.
Your picture's in the corner?
No. There's all names.
Oh, okay.
Every kid, like, and then there's a list of guys that are like the next, like Brendan Morrison was on top of the list, and there's a list right there.
Oh, like a whiteboard with all like
everything.
What he's looking
before
at.
Nowadays, if you go in a GM's room, it's all like computer technology. But back in the day, it was whiteboard, and then it went to like, clips, whatever. Yeah, he's not doing it. I mean, someone's doing it.
His
like,
team,
yeah. But so every name up there, and it's on a whiteboard, and me and Jonesy and everyone's looking at the ring, and I'm like, me and Ty, 2 Alaskan punks, And literally, I was like, hey, watch this. What? And I went and I put my name, Gomez, over, or I put it like third. I put it on the side, whatever. And to like even think about touching Lou Lamoriello's board, like whatever. So does anyone got questions, whatever? You know, and I raised my hand. I was like, yeah, I got a question. I was like, why is my name below those guys? I'm way better than those guys. I was totally joking around. The team leader that we were there was like ready to die. Like, I can't believe and if, you know.
I can't believe this punk did this.
Not even that. It was more like it's Lou Lamoriello. It's like.
The Godfather.
But not even that. That's when that put me on the Devil's map. That put me right there on the Devil's map where he knew right, you know, he knew right away, like there's something, you know, who the fuck does that?
Confident.
Who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
Like
On my fucking board.
like who the fuck, like meanwhile, and I was dead serious. I was like, I'm better than fucking those guys, or whatever. But me and Ty Jones, that's the difference between Alaskans that those can't, like, we had fun. It was like, you know, but it was also like, I'm way better than those guys. Like, I was just, that's put me on the Devil's map. And that's how, like, so,
That's badass.
so now the draft happens. And the only thing I ever wanted, and you guys are a hunting show, and, you know, it's probably the worst thing that ever happened in my life, is the things you guys probably watch all day long. But anyway, the only thing you want when you get drafted is to go up on the stage and your arms are around the commissioner, whoever. It's what you grew up. It's the same as the NFL.
Lou and the coach.
It's just
and
anything. It's the only thing you want.
Bettman.
The only thing you want since you're a kid is to be on TV and do that. And you only do that if you're in the first round. So my draft year, and we're there. And this is another Lou Lamoriello story, by the way. And we go there, and this is the first time the NHL put a timeout. So a team that was up, they could take a timeout, which was 3 more minutes or 10 more minutes. Obviously.
Drag out that pick.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly. So I haven't got picked, whatever. I was supposed to go in the first round. And now the last pick, Dallas. And I've been with Dallas. I've seen Dallas a bunch, and I'm thinking, New Jersey Devils change, go to Dallas. They get the pick. You know, as soon as I get picked, the New Jersey Devils select Scott Gomez. My whole family, we all jump up. My agent goes, fuck.
what? You had a side deal?
No one wants to deal with Lou Lamoriello.
Because he was like, oh, great. You just had to get picked by them.
Yeah. Like, it was literally like, oh, shit.
So made my life a living hell.
So anyway, I'm up on the stage. Guys, I know I don't got it now, but, you know, long curly hair. I'm fucking up there. I'm like, fuck. So for the young kids that don't understand, right after you go through the media and get pictures, this and that, you're free for a second. I ran to the payphone, and all my friends were back home, you know, and I was like, hey, did you guys see it? And they're like, where'd you get picked? I'm like, what the fuck you mean where'd I get picked? Didn't you guys see it on TV? I was up there. I was flowing. They're like, after the 26th pick, they switched it to buck hunting. The only dream I ever had. What? So, because the first round went like 4 hours that time because they put a timeout in there. It was horrible.
Oh, no. So they saw some guy in Minnesota getting the buck down, waiting for Scotty to come.
So then he went vegan that day.
No, I didn't go vegan. It was more like went the opposite. I was like, meats.
So did he give you a big hug up there?
Oh, no, so what happened was this. I'll never forget this. We're in Buffalo. We're driving in Buffalo. So afterwards, all right, that's right. It's a mind fuck for everyone. It finally happened. This is the last like 2 years that has gone on. Like, you know, it's a real, when you're that age, everyone. So it's finally over. All right, you know where you're at. I called Ty Jones, and I said, hey, there's a party. The team's having a party. And they're like, I'm like, hey, what do we do now? He goes, dude, dress up. Like, get in your normal clothes. because you're going to, afterwards you're going out. Because he was drafted the year before me in the first round. I was like, all right, me and my parents, my sister's there, one of my nieces, and we literally changed into like shorts, and we walk into this place, and it is like a scene of like, I don't know, like Princess Di and Prince Charles are there. Like it is like, dude, we walk in. And dude, we're all like, might as well meet the Gomez's, I guess. But a kid was picked before me, the Van Ryans. But and here
the
we
Van
come
Ryans?
in.
Damn,
Van Ryan got picked before me. He was 26. I went 27th, and everyone's dressed up, and we're literally like shorts and everything. And I'll never forget the coach suggested that like. I go back to the hotel. Robbie Ftorek was like, I probably should go back to the hotel and change. And the only reason why I didn't, I was like, I explained how far the hotel was. That was another introduction to like the Devils and the way they were like, oh yeah, like you wear suits, like you're gonna play the part, you dress the part, like
So year one, you had to buy a bunch of suits.
Well, I wasn't signed yet. Money hasn't come in yet. I just got drafted. So now you get paid. And now so you make it. And now you realize that, like, you got to dress up to these games. And you got to, like, and we didn't play in a big city where you could always tell where guys played because the fashion was different. Like, my buddies that were the same age that played for the Kings, they had way better fashion than the guys that played in New Jersey. The guys that played in New York, it's just the way it is. And you don't learn that later. Yeah, whatever. But it's still like, and half the guys I'm with, they're all from the 80s. And so like the worst outfits you can think of, they still think that's in style. And you're 19, you're like, that is awful. But you can't say anything. But, So... Me, John Madden, and Brian Rafalski make the team, and it's official. We make the team, and
Brian Rafalski's that same age?
No, Rafi's like 28, Madden's 25, and I'm 19.
Oh, okay,
but we're all rookies. Rafi, incredible, probably like he came in late, so I didn't even know that. I know. I take that back. Rafi's like 25. Rafi's 25, 26. Him and Madden.
It's because he was so little.
Well, but he came in. He came into camp, and the next guy up, because the way the Devils work was, there's always a guy up. So John Madden was the next guy up, and the rookie camp I had at 18, it kind of it kind of put me on the map. Where like the next year I was like, I'm making it, but I know my competition. The only reason why I made the Devils in 19. Should have made it 18. Still pissed about that, but is because Patrick Eliash and Brendan Morrison were holding out.
Oh, really?
So because Madden was the next up, so Madden gets to go, and me, Scott Niedermeyer, and Brendan Shanahan, I think are the only, like, in Lou's era, were the only guys that never played in the minors. It was known you start in the minors.
Yeah.
You go. So those guys held out anyway. I got so the fashion. So we make it. And now we're like, fuck, we got to go, I got like maybe one suit. That's a junior. Not even a suit. I have like khaki. I have Dockers with Doc Martens and whatever. Like, and
the Nordstrom Doc Martens.
Not even Nordstrom's. JCPenney. I'm still in junior, man. You ain't get paid there. So now you're in the league. And so me, John Madden, and Brian Rafalski, we go to the mall. And they had these suits that were 3 suits, 3 shirt and tie. Everything was together for $300. So, dude, we were decked out. Show up at the rink, and back then, every guy, and they're just fucking with you, but you don't know it back then. But every guy looks at your suit, see what.
They open up the jacket.
What brand it is?
Okay.
So. Our suits are like Joe Brown. They have Versailles, everything. And what happens is, though, it is also a life lesson where it's the you realize you got to buy quality, not quantity.
Yeah,
because the first time we put it through the dry wash, or
It was just
destroyed. And that's when the older guys tell you, like, all right, you got to go buy a good suit. Like, how much does a good suit cost? Cost this. Because you don't know. You really don't know. Like, and everyone thinks, everyone thinks when you first make it, it sucks when you first make it.
Yeah.
Because you're with your whole life. You've grown up just hanging out with guys and hanging out with the boys. And now you're in a position where, like, you're with grown men. They have families. They have, no one's, they're still young guys. They don't know you yet. You're just some kid. Yeah. And then once you get accepted, it is the greatest thing that ever happens to you in your life. I won't lie about that.
Patrick Elias is like, please pass.
But not even that. It's just like, but no, the hockey part's, it's, you don't understand what it's like to go on the ice where I've been on the ice with you guys. And as older I got or whatever I get with better guys. But now you're at a level where, like, you get a pass and the thing's coming fucking 100 miles an hour. Like, bang. Yeah. And you're like, you don't even move, though. And it's like, ooh, shit.
God.
Like, even your stick's like, ooh, that tastes good. Like, fuck. Like, and now you realize that, like, if I gave you guys a bad pass and they understand, like, dude, first time Sergen and Chinov's skating down the ice, I have him for a pass. I'm like, I can't believe I'm in an NHL practice and I give him a pass. I'm like, oh my God, that's in his fucking feet. The motherfucker doesn't even move, kicks it off his back foot, hits it, puts it right on his blade. I was like, holy, like, wow. Like it's a different level. Like, all right, got
There's
it.
no
Like,
bad passes.
It's not even that. Like you either get it. It's you're finally playing with everyone that's got a mind. Like physical and this and that. Yeah, that's one thing. But you really hockey people don't. It's your mind. Like you know,
guys that are dialed in.
Dialed in. Not even dialed in. It's just like you get it. You understand. Like you understand the angles of it, and the better ones understand the better. Like Gretzky understood it better. I think the angles of it. But you do realize, like, you're with guys that like. They ain't gonna make you. There's no such thing as making you look bad. You really got to make a bad pass to someone, because if anything, you're just working on yourself. Like, oh, that could happen in a game. Let me hit it out. Yeah. And that's when you know, like, holy shit. I don't even know if that made sense.
No, that made a lot of sense.
That was badass. I mean,
hope you guys are listening over there at the Double Shovel hockey team, because we keep getting a lot of bad passes.
Well, just for the very minimal amount of people and athletes in the world that have gotten to experience something cool like that, to know where it's you knew right there you're there. Like,
it's a level jump, right?
It wasn't a level jump. You just, at the end of the day, you're like, there's no higher level. Like, like, meaning, like, there's, you really gotta make a bad pat. Like, God, they're that good. They're that good where it's just like, this is what they practice. Like, everything's not going to be perfect. Like, it's not right. And the harsh, like, I mean, and so, when you got up to that level, it was literally like, now, in granted, with Lou and all that, it was, you're at the top of the line. It's professional. Yeah. Like, there ain't no, there's no fucking around, man. Like, Scotty Stevens is out there. It's on.
How was your nervous level? Like, the first time you just step out there on the practice ice, and you got all these legends around you. So
young, yeah.
Well, the whole point is you're out there, and the only thing you do step on the ice is, like, I am better than everyone out here.
You have to have that.
You have to have that. You have to have, like, it doesn't matter what, it's just like whatever. And now it's more like, so you're out there, you are nervous as fuck, but you're still like, hey, and like I said, you realize, like, how much it's, in a guy like me, it was almost easier. I don't know if that's a word, but you're playing with guys that are that good. Like you're basically playing with, and here's the Alaskan term I say, you're basically playing with 5 Dean Larsons out there. You're basically playing with that. Brian Swanson's. You're playing with guys like that. Every guy is like that. Every guy's a Dean Larson out there.
Yeah.
Like, and
You just know when you make that move, they're gonna have that puck
it's
where
not
you
even
want.
that. It's pretty easy. You just give the guy who's better the puck, and just get open or get someone. He's gonna give it back to you. That's how the game works. But you always give the guy who knows how to handle it better. And even when that's the only advice I ever give to kids. Like, you're out there with someone better, give it to him. His whole job is give it back to you. Like, it's the ego-ness.
Yeah.
What was the first check you got from the like number one rookie year, minimum wage,
The
whatever
wake-up
it is?
call.
The wake up call. You get the first check. You're like, Papi,
Well,
this is it.
That's probably one of the dumbest questions I ever heard, but I'll answer it because I'm on your guys' show. But I'll answer it different. Motherfucker, we've been hit since we were kids. Like, Randy McKay told me, he goes, when you turn 27, you'll feel it. And I'm a young kid, and I'm like, yeah, fuck off. I don't feel shit. This is how Alaskans work. I don't, I'm talking shit to him. He goes, kiddo, when you're 27, you'll feel it. All right. I'll never forget, I called Randy McKay. I was 27 years old, about that age, and I got hit. I got hit my whole life. Like, but you got hit. The next morning is the first time I woke up where I was like, oh, shit. Like,
Yeah, hurting.
and now think of that. I think you keep getting older. Like, yeah, man, it's not easy out there. Like, yeah, when you get hit, it's you're not even hit, but he did say that. That was a rule. When you're 27, you'll feel it. And from then on, you feel you feel everything.
All of it.
Yeah, but when you're young, dude, there's no excuse.
Is there one that stands out? Like one time someone just got
Well,
you?
no. So, the year we won the cup, 2003, Elias, and Marshall were a line, and we were fucking on fire, and fucking Stanley Cup first shift against the Boston Bruins. I get knocked the fuck out to the point where I don't know how far is that sign from here.
6 feet.
All right, so 6 feet. I'm probably like 6 or 7 feet away, and I baby giraffe it. I got hit so hard, I'm out, and I'm literally like I'm sure everyone's seen highlights of people that are wobbling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude,
knock
I'm
out.
out. But I'm just get to the bench. Like, I get there, whatever. I'm knocked the fuck out. Don't remember anything. There's like 4 minutes left in the period. The trainers take me out
To the back?
All right, we go in the room. Period. After 4 minutes, period's over. That's like whatever. It's 15 minutes, and I go out there, and I did. I played a lot, this and that, since I was a kid. I had the greatest shift of my life.
Right after that.
I come back to the bench, and the trainer goes, "Oh, you're fine. You look good." I grab the trainer, and I'm like, to Bill Murray, and I'm like, I don't remember one thing I just did out there. He grabbed me, took me off right away. Like, we had the devil. I can't say what other guys had. We did have that, but you asked me the hardest hit I ever had. Knocked the fuck out, knocked out. Like, and the worst hit I ever had was we were playing Toronto in the playoffs, and there's 2 seconds left to go in the period, and I'm right. Toronto's bench is right here, and the puck goes right there, and there's I can't not go in there because in the era I grew up, you look like a fucking pussy, like, or whatever.
Go get that thing.
That's another question too. That era you played in,
it makes no sense to do it, but that's just the era we grew up in. We're like, and it's playoffs, and hey boys, you are
Next
jacked.
level.
You are jacked up, like. You're taking shit that, the shakes you're drinking, you are jacked up. So anyway, the puck's right there, and I'm like, fuck. I know I'm going to get hit. This makes no sense, but anyway, I do the hero thing, get the fans into it, whatever. Hey, you got to show you're into it, which I don't want to do it. And I get fucking the wind knocked out of me from Darcy Tucker and Darcy Tucker and shit.
It was a double hit?
Oh,
Just the double crunch.
double crunch, ribs completely like
In front of their bench.
in front of their bench, and the worst injury, broken bones, anything you can say. whatever. The worst thing since you're a kid is get the wind knocked out of you.
Oh yeah.
Oh
You're
God,
fucked.
you feel like you're gonna die
You feel like you're gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
At least what yeah.
temporarily.
Yeah, it was Ty Domi and Darcy Tucker.
Oh,
Smoked me.
Jesus.
So not only did they knock the wind out of me, I have to like crawl by the bench. Like any other time, I'm falling on the ground. Like at least give myself a second. Like I got the wind knocked out of me. I had to crawl by Toronto's bench. And this is back like, dude, I'm getting water squirted on me. Fresh spit out here. But I can't do anything because I can't do anything. I got the wind knocked out of me. Like, you're so jacked up. Anyone does that, you're going in the bench, whatever, Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have the wind knocked out of me where I can't move. But I had to crawl by the, like, dude, talk about.
Those guys just giving you shit all the way down the bed.
I just said I'm getting water poured on my back. I can't. No, like I'm hurting.
Oh God, yeah.
Like but I had to go by their bench, and it's playoffs. It ain't regular season
Like
where guys
call
are
of shame, almost kind of thing.
It's a call of shame on a bad night.
Do you think you would have been a better player in this era? Now that it's like speed and talent and passing and versus like that gritty, hard hitting. I mean, it was insane back in those days.
It's one of those. It's like anything. Could like, and I'm not putting my name on there or anything, but it's like someone would ask like, how would Gretzky play?
Yeah.
Right now, right? People don't forget if you look at Gretzky's numbers, and I'm one of those hockey guys like. His last year, he had still like 70 assists, or he had like 75 points. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got to, and I played in kind of there, but I hit 80 once, whatever. But it's like that guy was still great. Like, any era you go into, it's just different. You cannot answer that question.
But do you feel you maybe wished you were born like 10 years later and been playing in this era?
No,
because you're just passing skill and the way that you played. I feel like it would have just been extra highlighted, and for you to be able to play in that area where it was just hardcore hitting, and you got Scott Stevens just ending careers,
and that no 2-line pass.
Yeah, that was. No, I think I came in the right era because, to be honest with my fellow Alaskans on your guys' podcast, Alaska Wild Project. I came in when the money was right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like the honest answer, man.
Like, not even that. It's like I came in though when I caught the end of rock and roll. Yeah. I came in with guys. I came in when the guy was in the room. He's in the room because he has character.
Yeah,
he's a leader. He knows how to handle. He knows what it's like when you're struggling, this and that. He's the guy that takes you out. He's the guy that takes you to dinner. Like I grew up in that. I'll never take it back. And nothing. You talk to anyone, like it's like anything. Kids are different. Why wouldn't they be? They grew up with. At the end, I grew up with guys that are like the things they could do on their phones and this and that. I was like, holy shit! We're the character actor, but that's the way it goes. So if someone asks me, do I wish it? No, because at the same time, I still grew up where it was tough, and you started your manhood, but there's guys that are even before me. Dude, holy shit! The only thing you really learn, I probably said 1,000 things you learn, but you can't complain, you can't whine. Like I always took pride in the fact that no, even the refs knew that. You hit me in the face, something happens, I'm getting the fuck up. Because one time, Chris Simon hit me from the back, and I went down and I acted like it was, I played the role. I acted like I was, dying there. He got like a double minor. Whatever. We went on a 5-on-3, or a 5-on-4. I forget, we're in Washington, and I get back to the bench, and I'm thinking fuck yeah, hey, got us a power play. And I remember Bobby Halik, Randy McKay. Who else grabbed me? And they're like, don't you ever fucking do that again. And I was like, well, what do you mean? We're just running the power play. Unless you're fucking hurt, get the fuck up. Get the and I already knew that from my dad, but I just thought, hey, I'm playing the Paul. I thought
You did the soccer move.
Well, yeah, but it was like, well, dude. And when those guys tell you that, it was like, I mean, like I said, for me to stay down, you better because, and that's when I was 19 to 36, and still this day, I play men's league, whatever. You're on the ice. You gotta get up, get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Even if you got hit in the face, we all know you got hit in the face. What, is someone gonna change it? Yeah. Like, yeah, you're out here at 10 at night, fucker. Like, like, all right, come on. The guy don't know how to use the stick. Like, you know.
Who would you say is, like, in your era, was the scariest hockey player that people assumed was the scariest hockey player? Like, oh, we're playing this guy, this team, and this guy tonight. Watch out.
Well, obviously, it's Scotty Stevens.
Yeah,
And
so the scariest guy was on your team.
But the thing is like, I'm not scared of that guy one bit on the ice because I grew up with him. I know what you know. Like he's the man that everything you see from the New Jersey Devils, it started with him.
Yeah.
Like, so when I was a kid, Bobby Halik and Scott Niedermeyer grabbed me and they're like, "That's who you want." That dude. So I'm 19. Scotty's probably like 34, 30. He's in that back. He's one of the older guys. He's the hardest working guy there.
Niedermeyer or Stevens?
Stevens.
Yeah.
But Scott Niedermeyer and Bobby Halik grabbed me and they were like, "There's only one guy." He said my job every day, I got to see what the standard was set. And so whether you went out all night, hey, there's when we get on the ice, there's you're not letting him but you also take it for granted. But I played with guys that friends that are, and they're like, "Gomer, you'll never know what it's like to get on the whole game plan is basically like, this guy will hurt you. Keep your fucking head up."
Pre-game speech is like, watch out for this guy.
But when guys out there were like Darius Kasparaitis, I remember
good name.
But man. I remember when he was out there, it was like, dude, because there's guys that know how to do it. They hit, they hit you, and it's not even. It's like anything. The guys know how to fight.
The crawl wall, just these guys. They
know. It's the same thing as anything. It's angles and edges. They know the angles. They know. There's no humanly possible way you can get out of this. You're gonna get fucking and your head's down or what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so. But I never had we had Scotty on our team. But I remember watching him get hit and but I remember in practice, you'd cut through the middle and he'd act like he'd hit you. I was like, no, I'd be like, I saw you. Yeah. Because that's one thing I did have. Your head's up. Because you are going to play against a guy like that. He's an animal. Animal. Yeah. It was, we used to always play stupid games in the locker room. And so we'd play and you guys we're living together. You're living together. You're brotherhood. And you're living in fantasy world. And it was, so one of the games was if you had to pick someone in practice to go to Vietnam with, who would you pick? And I'm like, fuck, man. No one's picking me. If someone picks me, you're fucked. But Scotty and Scotty, J. Pandolfo, Bobby Halik, those guys, they always got picked.
Really, Pandolfo?
I'll go. Yeah, I'm going. It's basically tell me what to do. What I gotta. Yeah, but that's the kind of. But it was also if you had to, if a guy went out all night, anyone, and a guy went out and you had to go practice with someone, who would you pick? Yeah, the Gomer's getting picked. Meaning. There was one rule. You can do whatever you want. You can and I grew up with great guys, but there was one sacred thing was practice. You can go out all you want. You can go, no one judge you. No one cares. Hey, but if you can't deliver it the next day, then he said that, and it's like any job you have.
Yeah.
Hey, do whatever you want, but
show up.
When you're on the job, and when Scotty Stevens is the guy that's running it, it's pretty easy.
Amplified.
Well, and it's crazy because you got Scott and Niedermeyer there.
So Scott Niedermeyer is probably the, if you took besides this is a stretch and whatever, Lemieux, Gretzky, Scott Niedermeyer is probably he's the greatest hockey player I ever played with. I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He was that good. He was, and I played but I mean, this guy, and the best part is, his nickname was the Nerd. Like he didn't even know how good he was. Like he's the guy that probably like, what's Nieder up to? He's a doctor now.
He's just been studying.
No, just yeah, but yeah. So it was.
He's just nerding out.
No, not even. No, not nerd. No,
Just a natural.
I don't think a doc. He just anything was easy to. I mean, he disagreed with that, but it's like that's the greatest hockey player, and he backed it up. He's got everything. But if you really played in that era and you saw it and you understand it, Scott Niedermayer, it was like. But there's only certain people you can say that, can control a game. He can control the pace of a game.
Yeah,
and it's hard to explain. People don't understand, but it's like, when he gets the puck,
you can decide to speed it up,
slows down, man. Slows down. Hey, it slows down. Yeah. If you get it, it slows down. Hell, Needs got it. It slows down. Here we go. Yeah. Where other guys get it, you're like, shit.
He's flying all over.
Have you lost a tooth playing hockey?
Yeah. These
those two in the front?
Yeah, two in the front. So the worst injury in hockey is your teeth. And the only goal you have growing up is to lose your teeth, because it's a sign of a hockey match. So I never did. The dream was always to have the fake tooth, But the worst part, this is when you go to a different level. The next year I make it, and Ken Danico, an animal. And Dano, a couple of the guys were in San Jose, and they're like, you should have saw what happened last year. Dano got hit with a slap shot in the face.
Jesus.
Right in the face. And the guy telling me, Jay Pandolfo, no one's, there's some guys, whatever, but no one's, but to get hit with a slap shot in your face, most guys, 99% are going down. And deservingly right. The whole
99.9.
90,000 people saw you get hit with the face. Daniel doesn't even move. He skates down the ice and he's screaming, "Fuck that! Fuck that!" And Jay's like, Jay Pandolfo. It's like he's a rookie, whatever. He's like, "Holy fuck! I've never seen anything." Daniel's yelling. It's not that he got hit in the mouth. He goes, "I just got my teeth fixed. I just got my teeth fixed."
He was fucking mad.
Dude, he's mad because he's gonna have to go to the dentist for another 7 hours, whatever it was. He was just in there
7 hours 10 times.
Where anyone else would be like dead, like you're done. That's the kind of group I grew up with.
Does the team have a dentist? Or do you got to
you got everything. You got it's you got the worst injury ever. So as your teeth, it's your tongue. So I've had 24 stitches on my tongue and 22. One was in a pregame skate. Shelton Surrey's blade came down, and as he came down, I must have bit. And so I go to the trainers. I'm like, I have a hole in my fucking tongue.
Before the game even started?
This is pregame. No, this is pregame. This is in the morning.
Pregame.
Oh, gotcha. Wait, this is in the morning. Just like 10 in the morning.
Shit.
So now I got to go to the dentist. They sew it up. And now you don't realize that every movement you make in your body starts with your tongue. So anything starts, you're just like, you're done. But now I'm a rookie. I got to go play because it's your tongue.
There's nothing wrong with your skating ability.
Well, of course not. But it's still like, this hurts so bad. Like, fuck. But of course I'm going to play, but at the same time, and of course.
Distracted.
And at this point, I've kind of, the boys kind of know me. And so now the joke in the locker room is like, oh, yeah, finally, someone gets to shut him the fuck up. And I have no response because I can't talk. My tongue, so but it does heal the quickest. But your tongue is the worst. Oh, yeah, 20 stitches, 20 stitches, 20, yeah. It's it's the worst injury. But it does heal the fastest.
You probably can't drink or eat certain things.
You can't do anything. Any movement you do, the only muscle we really know in our body, besides Well, I don't. Well, besides that, I don't know what rated this is, but besides that, like, it's the only muscle. But the only thing that we actually like, imagine that thing getting sliced up.
Yeah.
Fuck, that hurts, man. Yeah.
It's bad enough just to bite out when you're eating, let alone getting stitches in it.
Can start crying. Let's get into the cabin on the Kenai.
All right.
When did you make that purchase? Obviously, you've been fishing with your dad for forever, and just made a decision like, this is what I want to do in the summer.
I think we were. I think it was after my second or third year, and yeah, I mean, we love fishing. We grew up at the Russian River, so I don't know if that's really fishing.
Oh, that's fishing. That's where everyone starts.
That's combat fishing. But you get to a certain age where you're like, I'd rather enjoy myself. Oh, this is how you used to fish, where there's no one around you.
Let's try
That's called a cabin. So, yeah, I think in my second or third year, we Larkey. We were next to the Larkies, right on the slough, Castaway Cove slough. And at the time of our lives, for the first 5 or 6 years, we finally had us and the Larkies and everything. It was a party. It was great. And then, but yeah, so my, you get a little older, you get, you kind of want peace and quiet sometimes. Anyway, so my parents, they got a cabin. We got something. And,
well, here your dad's a hell of a captain out there, and he doesn't play.
Well, he's just, my old man's into, dip netting. And it's funny because, like, I love hanging out with my old man. I love hanging out with my dad and this and that, but there's one thing I will never hang out with him is dip netting. I can't stand it. But my dad goes out there. However, I don't want to break any rules there, but whatever my dad has a schedule. He has friends that are people call my dad to schedule appointments, and my dad he goes out there, but.
And the funny thing is,
because I think we love it. But the funny thing is our, freezer's always full.
That's right.
Yeah. We just, as far as fishing and stuff, I haven't seen my dad put a line in the water. I don't even know how long. Is dip netting.
That's his thing.
He became addicted to it, and that's his thing. Like he says, that's his story, and he's sticking to it.
He's not driving kings.
No, we weren't into that. We didn't grow up with kings, and the first time I caught a king, 56 pounds, by the way. But I was with Ben Brady, and me and Ben and the great Bob Penny, we were at his cabin, and I think we were like 13 and 14. We went out there for a week, me and Brady, and we get up at like 4 a.m. to go king fishing. I didn't even know you could do that. We get up this early. Anyway.
And you're like, fucking.
We just went to bed.
It's cold on the water. You're like, this is July and all.
It's not even that. It's like, honest to God, we haven't gone to bed. But you're that age, so who cares? Whatever. All right. So, So I catch a king, and it was probably the worst experience of my life because, like I said, if you ever had Mr. Bob Penny, and I emphasize Mr. Bob Penny on the boat, I'd never been yelled at so bad because I lost the thing 3 times. Whatever. I ended up catching it. And yeah, my one and only king salmon is from. I was on the boat with Mr. Bob Penny, and there's a reason why I never did it again. Or I always thought king fishing was boring. It can be. I guess the ADD in me, I don't want to sit on a boat and just
maybe
and call me whatever because I have friends that they'll do it for 12 hours.
Oh yeah,
won't even stop.
Day after day.
Yeah, and that's their enjoyment. I'm one of those guys. I was like, hey, if I don't have wherever I'm fishing, if I don't feel a fish in 30 minutes, I've gotten older, so maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, I'm blaming it on my line. So then I'm going to one of you guys, and I'm like, tie my shit up right now. I have no ego towards that. Really don't. Like I said, beers, all my friend, but I grew up different, tying the line. How come I always lose the fish? And Yeah, if I don't feel a fish in 30, 40 minutes, sorry.
You're done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And I've earned the right because I grew up in the Russian River.
Or you just get one.
For hours. Forget the limits 3. Just get 1. I'm just kidding.
What about hunting? Your dad you guys never got into hunting?
Never got into hunting.
Do you want to, though? Are you like, maybe I can go get a caribou or go get a moose?
It's not that because I went caribou hunting once. And I went with Jordan Tootoo. And so we went up to, in Ukit. I forgot I probably shouldn't have named better, but,
he's like a native Canadian.
Barney
Canadian native?
Barney Tootoo. Well, I'm sure there's it's more than that, but like we asked Barney Tootoo, his dad, one time, like, hey, what are you guys? We have so many different, and he said Barney Tootoo goes, they're Eskimo, legit Eskimo, like, and so we went out there on the Arctic Circle, and when it comes to a fish, I don't know, and I hope no one takes this wrong, but like I can kill a fish. I can rip a fucking guts out of a fish. When it comes to a live animal, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'm that guy. Like, what the fuck? So we went up caribou hunting with the Tootoos, and, I shot a caribou, and it's one of those sad stories, but I do have it, like, it just wouldn't die. And I had to ask the guy, I'm like, you got to shoot it. Like, he's like, no, like, you got to learn how to kill it. I'm like, I've taken 10 shots, man. Like I can hear the thing crying. I can't even see it, but I can hear this thing. Like, just come on, man. Like,
finish them off.
Help me out.
Finish them off.
I got no ego towards this. Like, and you guys, that's what you guys are hunters. Were like, and I wasn't. And when you walk up to it, you don't realize how big it is.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember Tootoo's. It gets to a point where the gun was jammed, so we couldn't shoot it, and he just opens the switchblade, goes around. There's a way to go around. He's teaching me the whole time, but because you don't want to get hooked with it, and just whatever. And I guess
they had to go and cut the throat.
Yeah. And the moral was basically like, but being out there, and people can say whatever, like, but being out there and being there for like 2 weeks or a week. I mean, there's not one piece of that caribou that's not being used,
harvested. Yeah.
Like it was like you get like, and so it was just but I don't have that in me. Like, but now if we're at a bar and someone's asking how Alaskan I am, I'm like, well, when I killed those 3 moose and the bear came in, like, unless someone else is from Alaska, I'm like, all right, yeah, I can talk this shit.
Oh, that's right. Where do you hold the rings at? They're at your parents' house?
No, I had to ask my parents one time. I was like, hey, I was doing TV, whatever, and they asked if I'd wear it. I was like, okay. And so I remember asking my parents, I was like, hey, where's the rings? And my dad's like, oh, shit, yeah, it's in this bank. His passed away. But yeah, but we, it was, they're the ones we won, they're just too big.
Yeah. Well, you're such a humble guy, and you don't dress flashy. You're not just like a regular guy. I don't see you ever wearing the rings. I'm just like curious.
I don't think I could get away with it from the people I know. Or like, imagine one day I'm just like,
yeah.
So
like, what are you doing, bro?
Did I tell you that kid was 56 feet? Yeah. But other guys, it fits. Like, there's guys that are so proud of it, they wear it, and it fits them.
Yeah.
I'm not a jewelry guy. I'm not like, you look at everyone was a jewelry guy. Take that back. You get in the league, you got a chain. And then you realize that you're with grown men that know how to fight. So anytime there's a scrum, anytime, all the other guy's doing is grabbing your chain and ripping it. And then you got to go get it fixed again. And then you get to a point where, like, I'm not going to wear this on the ice. Because, if you saw someone wearing a chain, all you're doing is grabbing it and ripping it.
Nah,
yeah. So you learn, like, all right. So like, don't put a chain on. But of course, everyone want to wear a chain. Like, you don't think we all want to go over to, like, Major League Baseball? They got, like, 6 of them now. Like, but then you learn, like, no one wears a chain. Because, if we're in a scrum and I see you have a chain, I'm going to just rip it off.
Just break that thing.
Just rip it. Like,
broken.
I think the NHL is, and hockey in general, is famous for its wordage, its nicknames, its lingo. There's so many like words that are associated that hockey players use, and I'm just curious how nicknames are assigned, or you know what I'm saying, how's that figured out?
It all goes by your name. All right, so I had no choice. I don't know when it happened. Gomer, right? I was always Gomer, and all my kids, that's the hockey world. All my baseball kids, I grew up with baseball. I'm Gomez. Like my cousin Ernie never gets called Gomer. Yeah. It's Gomez. He always, like, so my friends, but the hockey world's always been Gomer. And we had, we're on this team, and we're all getting team hats, and you can put your nickname on it. And so I was always Gomer, so I put Gomer on my hat. So I get, my dad's in the car, get in there, and my dad goes, anyway, I had to fill out a name, whatever. And he goes, what name did you put? And he goes, I put Gomer. He goes, that ain't your fucking last name. I was like, yeah, that's what everyone calls me. Like, whatever, just not. And then he goes, well, there's a guy named Gomer Pyle. So I'm like, I don't know that show. And he's like, I know. But my dad's like, I know it. Like, all I remember is walking back in and be like, I want my hat switched to Gomez. So, like, in the hockey world, yeah, is Gomer nickname? It's just, you know.
Is there like an older guy that just says it?
No, because since a kid, it's been Gomer. It's too easy. Gomer. It's Gomer.
So it's something that's like rises up with you.
But so, all right. So I've always been known as Gomer. Gomer, this, that. And when I made it, the only rule I ever had was like, no girl calls me Gomer. I'm like, you don't fucking call me Gomer. It's so bad enough. I'm Gomer. Like, I'm going like whatever. And
only the boys call me.
Well, no, yeah. And I remember, so I'm a rookie, and 3 of the wives still to this day are Gomer, because I remember I sat him down. And I was like, listen, my people came from across 3 oceans to get here.
We don't call you Alaska.
And they're like, to end up in Alaska. And that was during the Ice Age. Motherfuckers, don't call me Gomer. Still this day. Renee Holik, Lisa Niedermeyer, Donna Stevens, the old school. There's like, I couldn't win that one. It was Gomer. Like, yeah, I was like, all right, fuck. Like, yeah.
All right, let's end it on I'm going to give you quick names, and you just give me a 1 or 2 word answer on these names, all right?
It's not like people. It's people I'm gonna know, right?
Yeah. It's all these people you're gonna know, and you just.
I know you guys are show. People are complaining about that.
No.
The trivia questions are hard. Did you go on an Alaska project? I was scared to.
They came with these names I didn't know.
Dude, yeah.
All right, so 1 or 2 words, just a quick description of it. Harry Wilkie,
Legend.
Carl Brady,
Legend.
Trajan Langdon,
He's a legend.
Paul Bissonnette.
Legend.
You got to come with something.
All right. Start again. Okay, but you got to make it sound like I can't say legend. Like, you didn't give me the rules. Like, it's got to be something different.
Saying legend.
No. Legend's fine. Harry Wilkins is a legend, but you can't repeat it.
They're all going to be legends.
You got to say you can't repeat the same word.
Okay, don't repeat the same word.
It's your show. I'm trying to help you out. Like, because you just said we got to come with something different. I'm like, you didn't give me the rules. Legend.
They're all legends.
Yeah, like what
Here's a list of legends.
All right, how about this? How about a quick word that describes them in your opinion, or a story?
All right, got it.
All right. Harry Wilkie.
Legend.
Carl Brady. And you can say legend if that's like a skip.
No, you asked me the question. Can I answer what I want to answer?
Yeah.
Well, you just told me a rule that I thought.
Well, you can say legend if you want to skip.
I know. We
or
just
you
had
say
a conversation off air. I said legend.
Legendary legend.
Pioneer.
Trajan Langdon.
What you see right now is because of him.
Paul Bissonnette.
Gets it.
Scott Stevens.
Leader.
Ken Danico.
Die for.
Nuru.
Who's Nuru?
Security
guard East.
I know there's a story.
Oh, I haven't heard it.
That's a good one.
I think I've never been in a fight in my life. Never. Off the ice. I've never been in a fight in my life. If someone was fucking with that man, yeah, I'd say my first fight is because of Nuru. Yeah. But I think I might, because I'm fortunate enough to be on the Alaska Wild Project thing, but I think 95%, or I shouldn't say that high, but I think there's a huge percentage of people at East that got it. Like, if Nuru was getting fucked with later on at our age, you're jumping in there.
That's it.
I hope so. If you're not, you got
a problem.
You're like these two guys. White guys.
I gotta know more about this. What's going on here?
Okay, so Nuru was like a legendary security guard.
It's like any teacher or anyone
at East High. Like he was like an African American dude who just did not play. Like he would just tell you exactly what it is, how you're fucking up.
He played the game better where he knew, like, he's the one guy that, like, if he gave you detention, that means you were late 5 times.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, I was one of those kids, I don't know if you were, I went to detention once. It wasn't for New, I went to detention once. And for my 30 minutes of freedom in school, I was like, okay, yeah, just don't be late. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was the word. Yeah. And a kid, like, in school suspension. Imagine being down there all day.
Oh, God.
Larkey used to,
Larkey used to do it.
Yeah, I went down there. I used to hang out with Larkey. He's like, watch this. No one, like, you kids ain't talking for hours.
It's my favorite job. Assign me to that.
Yeah. But I'm saying, as a kid, I'm like, I was that kid. I'm like, what? Like, detention. Hey, all right. Yeah. If someone asked you, like, hey, let's go on or whatever. When you got to leave campus, and the best part about us getting older, and it sucks, is like, someone asked me, and they're like, how long do you think lunch was? I'm like, fuck, wasn't it an hour? I thought it was an hour. Fuck, we used to go to Costco, man. Dude, we used to go sit at Pizza Hut. I'm like, wasn't an hour? And a couple friends were like, dude, it was 30 minutes. Like, think about that.
How did you even do all that?
Well, but if you did
Well, we took an hour.
You did it, but yeah, but you did. But it was, Dennis was by the pool area.
Yeah.
And you weren't getting in. Like, you weren't, you're going to get, there's no way. And you got to, I'm sure they're entertaining themselves. It's a game to them.
Oh, you know it.
Like, why wouldn't you? Like, but that's the whole point where we're talking about Neuro. Like, he was a guy, though, that, like, he's a guy. He's
seen
that,
all
like,
the games.
But he's a guy like, you know what, Nero? Yeah, you make sense. I'm not going to be late again. It puts you in a bad situation. Like, because he's going to let you get away with other shit. Yeah. He's going to protect you. He's going to. He was the leader. The guy was. Yeah. So you asked me. Yeah. I don't know if I answered it, but yeah,
that was good. That was perfect.
That was really good.
Ashley Langdon.
Ashley Langdon.
Mm-hmm.
Who
injured you? Aces.
Oh, I was good friends with Trish. The best part about it is,
for a little history, when Scott played with the Alaska Aces,
hip injury.
He got hit with the open bench by Ashley Langdon. And that's
the best part about it, I can only say, is that before that game, we flew with the other team. I sat next to him the whole time.
Oh, wow.
We talked the whole time. At the end of the day, I can honestly say, and I'm glad I answered it the way I answered it when you asked that question. I didn't even know who the fuck you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Trajan's sister. I was like, that's Trisha Langdon. So to answer your question, man, I've never thought of that guy one day. Like, yeah, like what? Yeah, like, hey, you got hit, whatever. It wasn't as bad as, yeah. But
it wasn't as bad as Alaskans.
It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. But I was on the hospital bed at like 1 a.m, whatever it was, 12, whatever, and I got a call. And I got a call from Lou Lamoriello. And Lou was like, and basically he told me, he's like, you're done. You're not playing anymore. I don't care what injury. I was like, got it. Like, meaning, but it wasn't like, they said it, I broke my hip and I did this and that. I was like,
that's what it said on the internet.
I cracked my pubis.
Okay.
I cracked my pubis. Like, yeah, and also it goes like, Lou said I was done. That's fine. But our team was good enough. We could have won it. and they didn't need maybe it's like I didn't want them to think that like it was because of me. Like that's how good this team was.
Yeah,
the Devils or the Aces?
No, the Aces.
No, the Aces.
That was an awesome year.
Yeah,
man.
so it was and not only that, as great a year as you guys thought it was, like in the room, it's fucking like it was one of the funnest years I've ever had. Like
No shit.
you cannot put 6 or 7 Alaskans together at this age. Like we could and can still play hockey and could, like we had
So who are all Alaskans? You, Nate Thompson,
me,
Carl?
no. You already named 2 other guys that weren't on the team. So
Okay,
let's not talk again.
let's hear who they are.
I'm gonna tell you. All right. Me, BJ Young, Chris Heiston, Mike Lee, JJ. I think JJ was there that year. So maybe there's 5.
JJ was there.
But
Yeah,
there's 5. No, I don't think JJ was there. He was there the next year. But it's literally like, all right, so yeah, and I can't even explain. It's the only closest thing that, and the kids that we were in Alaska, we took more pride in it. The fact that it's the closest thing that like people got to see what it was like in the 90s when we had that class. We had that class for those 4 years.
Yeah.
The Dean
It was like that, man. It was.
Did it
was
feel like a
rock and
men's
roll.
league? Like you're playing a men's league?
No. It was the shit I did there. If it was in the NHL, I'd get 20 games suspension. But it was literally like the fact that it was like, and I did learn from guys. I'm not tough by any but when we step on the ice, like you fuck with me, I'm gonna fuck with you 10 times. But like, and I'm maybe in a different category, maybe in a different level, but.
You got some gangsters.
I got lawyers. No, I got lawyers. Like, yeah, I will fuck you. You fuck with me, I'm gonna fuck. Like, you think you're gonna cheap shot me? I'm gonna swing my stick at your neck. Like, meaning, I grew up with Claude Lemieux. Like,
we
there's
didn't
hockey
get into
rules.
that.
There's hockey, but there's hockey rules.
Yeah.
Like, don't fuck. What the fuck? Like, you just hit me from behind. Like, I got to do something back. It doesn't work just now. The tougher you are, you don't fuck with those people. But at the same time, you're like. It's one. You're not gonna go to jail. Like, but if you fuck with me, I'm gonna. Yeah, you try to hurt me, I'm gonna try to hurt you, but worse.
Yeah,
and I don't even know how to do this. I mean, Well, no, that's just the rules. It's anything in life. You hit me, don't you hit someone back?
Of course.
Like, you're gonna shoot. Like, and it's not even. I'm not. You wouldn't do that. Don't try to hit me or do something like you wouldn't do that in a regular. Whatever. Like because I don't care. I don't care and. At that point, like all the aces and stuff, we were a brotherhood, man. Yeah, you fuck with one of us, dude. But that's any team I've ever been on. It's really always been like that. I grew up like I've always played with like it's the way it is. Like, hey, as long as you go, it's like anything. You go into anywhere. Why do you feel so calm? Because I'm with my friends. I know And I don't know if certain people are like that, and that's your fault. But the people I'm going into a place, I know they're not looking for trouble.
Right.
Like, so if trouble happens, something really must have,
It went out of whack.
And the older you get, you realize, hey, it was always that kid, since we were in high school, like, hey, now, granted, I don't like, why would you get in a fight? So here's my rookie year. The guy goes, Chris Terrera grabs me and he goes, all right, you made it. All right, so here you go, kid. What's the rule in the bar? You're going to fight. If you have to get in a fight, you have to get in a fight. I was like, you got to get in a fight? I'm like, yeah, there's 3 girls and you're and I was like, well, I guess you got to fight, right? You just hit him. He goes, man, are you kidding me? Chris Terrera goes, this is what you do. I don't know if there's a camera in it. He goes.
Run skate.
So he goes, you fucking run. I was like, granted, I'm a kid. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm going to look like the biggest. This is before phones. This is before cameras, everything. I was like, I'm going to look like the biggest loser ever this night. He goes, what do you care? Who cares? You got a game tomorrow. You're playing in the end. When you're getting in a fight, you're going to be that guy. You can,
Right.
hey, whatever,
Get
run out.
arrested or
Who
something.
cares? Get
Yeah.
out. Like, yeah. So I had those kind of vets that were, that was the knowledge passed down to me. Like, hey, man, you're in a business now. Like, like, and that's another thing. Your friends, when they came, when they came to visit New York, it's like we can't act like we act. We're not at the Kenai River. We're actually in a place in New York. Throwing something at one of us is not cool anymore. Like and that's where you didn't. It's like anything in life. You got to get older. Like, hey, we're on the Kenai, whatever. You see someone do something, you can't say anything. What are you gonna say? Like, hey, what the fuck? Like, he's up there. But if you're at a social setting, like, no, we're not at the Kenai.
Did you ever find in those moments, like when you'd have a crew of homies come see you and that whole vibe, like, did you have to like stay sober and like keep an eye on the boys and keep them like?
First of all, I've never hung out with anyone that I'm babysitting because that's not fun for me.
No way.
And since I've been young, our friend, like, when you go out, you're supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
There's no,
That has to be a blast when all your boys come.
I also, like, all the stories I told you about Scotty Stevens, this and that. I mean, those guys don't go out. Those guys, whoever goes out. But now I live in a different world where, like if you come visit, it's not, we don't act this way. Or we can't, like, and those are the friends that, imagine being a friend, like, you can't come out. Why? Because we're not in Kenai.
We're
actually in New York City. Like, dude, just act like, like, no one likes that. Like, I guess we're the worst people, like Alaskans. We think that's funny. No, like, you can't do that in a public setting. You can't. Sorry.
Just be cool,
and
bro.
Someone would be like, and of course, someone would be like, oh, you hype man, it's changed.
Yep,
like, no, it's grown up. It's like, we're going to have the time of our life. We're going to go see shit we never even seen. But we're going to act this way. Because why? Because I'm not the guy that's coming in the locker room the next day and being like, Gomer's buddies, there's 5 of them that came. Oh, my God, they fucking, because you always hear about that. Where I can say about coming from Alaska, it's not like, hey, you're not representing me. You're representing the state. They already think we're, they watch the shows. They don't know there's an east side. Like, yeah, like, hey, no, we ain't doing it. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yep, one more there. What's the best chirp you heard? Is there just like a master chirper out there just getting people?
No, like, it's like anything. Don't chirp if you can't. If you can't come with something back. And there's a lot of guys that would say stuff, and you're like, what? What? Like, I mean, it's not a chirp. I mean, yeah.
Like 9th grade? Fucking just get after it.
Okay, I'll give you guys the Alaskan story. So, you know the girl, because we grew up with her, but I won't give the name. And we grew up, and we're in high school. We're in sophomore year, and I'm like, all right. I go, hey, I'm going to score you a hat trick.
Tonight.
Well, yeah, not tomorrow, tonight. The game's tonight. Like, And, yeah, I get a hat trick. And the next day, I'm like, hey, I got you a hat trick. And she goes, you didn't score 9 goals. And I'm like, what? So now I'm arguing with her in class. I'm like, do you know how hard that is? Like, 9? Like, what the... How the fuck 9? Like, I didn't get it in. She goes, oh, but you promised her and her 3 goals. Oh. I always remember that, dude. It's the greatest chirp. That's the greatest chirp I've ever gotten. And it's someone like, but I'll never forget that. Yeah, that's the greatest chirp I ever heard. Like, yo, great for her. I was like, because why? I couldn't say anything back. I was like, what? Like, yeah. But I'm arguing with her how hard it is to score 9 goals. Like, yeah. But she's like, you promised her and her. So that was the greatest chirp I've ever heard.
That's funny. All right, back to the list. Rafi Torres. I got him.
Cousin Ernie.
Cousin Ernie. Yeah,
nice.
That's it. That's it.
Shaved
Or
head.
not even Cousin Ernie, cousin.
Cousin.
Or Cousin Ernie, like, yeah, the Rafi Torres. Cousin.
Got
cousin.
it. Jay Pandolfo.
Brother.
Brandon Dubinsky.
Love.
Joe Biden.
I don't even know how to answer that. I'm more worried about like people's safety and the pandemic and. What kind of question is that? Fuck up. Anywhere else I'd actually answer it. I'm in Alaska. I'm like, next. I don't know how to answer that.
You say, let's go, Brandon?
No, but I know. I don't. I honest to God, when it comes to politics, I'm like, yeah, hey, what? It's -4? What?
That's priceless, Scott.
Your starter works 30 more minutes than mine. What the fuck? Yeah. So politics. I don't hear you.
I know. That's why I threw that in there.
Whatever. Let's go. Next. What's next?
Justin Johnson.
All right. Did I said
Or a story.
Mayor.
No,
Mayor?
mayor. Everyone was mayor. Loyalty.
Henrik Lundqvist. Pimp.
Great goaltender.
Great goaltender. Connor McDavid.
LeBron, Gretzky, like in that category. I guess to answer that category. Like
Okay.
Category.
Yeah,
That guy's
category, yeah.
Linda, he's a prodigy. Like that's sick.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
Jesus. Uncle Timmy.
That's awesome.
The greatest.
The greatest. Nate Thompson.
Beyond proud.
Let's
That one goes out. Hey, all I know, I'm in your guys' world too. This is all. Cut that one. Cut that one. All right.
cut.
I'm giving you guys enough shit, dude.
let's get into the Scotty Gomez Foundation, man. Just a little shout out to what your dad's doing and your family's doing for all the hockey kids and all that, man, for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, and I've never been dishonest to that. The whole point is the story earlier when I told you that I went to the Boys and Girls Club to get equipment. I guess no one's heard this, but my grandmother had her, I don't even know her birthday, but it was the first time all of us were together. Cousins, this and that, we're all in San Diego. And I went with my cousin's family and gone kind of hard a couple of days. And my dad's like, hey, I'm going back to New York, and my dad's like, hey, I'm gonna pick you up. Like, I'm like, Dad, I can't even go out. I'm dead. Like, no, anyway, my dad takes me around Pacific Beach, PB, and he there's a Boys and Girls Club that was right there, and my dad goes, that's the reason why you grew the love of sports. So the Scotty Gomez Foundation. No, so like I was saying about the Boys and Girls Club, I hope we edited that good. But I know my name's on it, and I know that whatever. But my dad and Mike O'Connor and now Tom Walsh, but like they're the reason why that has happened. And I remember my dad. That was, he never asked anything. We knew we had the only thing me and my dad ever had was give back to Anchorage. Or Alaska, that was the only thing. Like, we were, when I got to a certain point, it was like, all right, here we go. Let's do this. Like, my dad, he was so adamant about doing the foundation, and because I hope that's, I don't know if you're editing it good enough, but when my dad showed me the Boys and Girls Club, that's like he is one, like that was their goal, man. Like, there's no kid, like, I mean, we were raised everyone. No kid should not be told he can't at least get a chance. Get a chance at least. You know what I'm not saying? And that's when my dad showed me that Boys and Girls Club. That's so, like I said, passionate beyond whatever. But there are people that the reason why it's been so successful, and I never ever lie, it's because of the board. Like, it was the Mike O'Connor. He passed away, but my dad, Trent Taylor, Tom Walsh, Jim Stormcher. Jim right now, like, they're the people that
it's a beautiful thing that you guys got going on.
It really is, man.
It's not even that. It's more like it's not that you're like you should be. It's not embarrassed or whatever, but you're like, dude, it's just the way. Wasn't that the way our era? That's the way it was, man. I mean, there's a place to go.
Well, it was the same way that
I'm not saying you take care of it, but hey, you still, you still got like, and we grew up in a different era. Like you still could go to the Boys and Girls, like it's what you. Yeah, so I mean, that's the product. It is one of the coolest things. Or like, like in the worst part is being like retired is like all the events. I have no excuse for. I'm like shit. I should go out there. I'm like it's cool, but I love coming home. I love but it is if there's anything that's been, and I gotta give my dad credit for that. But if there's anything the proudest thing I've ever had is the Scotty Gomer Foundation, just because of the fact it's helped people out. Yeah, it's helped, and I'm not and it's not me. It's the people that really behind the scenes
working it
that have done it. Like and I would never ever take credit for, because there are people behind the scenes that they're the true.
It's obviously there's people that are grinding all the time trying to make that happen.
Well, it's not even that. It's just people that are good people that like, hey, give back. Yeah, like, hey, like right. Like give it. Like and I'm saying there's any chair, whatever. But I don't take any credit for that. Because
that's your dad's thing, right?
It's my dad. Hey, but it's our thing. I take more pride in that than anything. But at the same time, I'll never take credit because of the fact that the people behind the scenes,
the boots on the ground,
the people behind the scenes, they deserve any, and I hope they know how appreciative of that. So
and it's like one of those things. Like we've had a lot of Alaskans go out and do awesome shit, but you actually came back and with a group of people with boots on the ground, with passion, are doing something awesome for the community, and it makes us even more fucking proud.
Yeah. Well,
no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like anything. The only difference between me, all the other people that played, it's just I came home. Yeah. It didn't make anything. No. It didn't make anything.
But it made such a big difference to a lot of people.
It does. It is noticeable.
It wasn't like it made a difference. It's just more like I can talk more, like meaning.
Actually, it's that you still belong.
No, but I think all of us always belong. Like I've had people that still act like, oh God, I haven't lived there, and it's not. I'm like, do you get it? Like people are still proud of you, man. Who gives a shit where you live? You're still from here
with open arms.
Yeah, always. Like hey, what you did? Hey, we all still got our memory. What you did? Like that's the thing. Like the only difference, I just came home. I'm like I'm no different than everyone. All of us are. And that's one thing I can say about even the hockey guys. Like all of us are like, and me being the older one, and that was one rule I did say to like Doobie, Nate, all of us. I was like, no, Joey, all of them. I was like, we're all proud of each other. We're not going to be those people from like that don't get along.
Yeah.
Like so when I retired, the first calls I made were to Nate, Matt, Doobie, Joe, like. The guys, they should hear. And not a big deal, but I'm saying like that's the respect. That's how proud of there was not going to be. Hey, you're proud of where you came from. We're proud we're not going to have. There's not going to be any issues between any of us because we're all and that's even on the ice. Like you ain't hitting me, motherfucker. Act like you are. Like but no, and we all. That's what I think. I think at the end of the day. As all us Alaskan players, we can honestly say that it's not like we're all close and we all hang out, but we're all still.
It's quite a club.
There's still respect there. That's like, hey,
awesome.
I know. We like, whoever, even the new, the kid coming up, we're like, hey, we got your back, man. We'll back you to the end.
Who's the kid coming up? Who's the kid coming up now?
Jeremy Swayman over at Boston. Hey, Scotty, you ever played golf with him?
No, he went to Maine.
Went to Maine, played golf, but it is stud. And the best part is my best friend, one of my roommates of course that, but he was with the Bruins and Jay Pandolfo was assistant coach. And it was kind of neat because but no, the kid's real. And it's like anything. Doesn't matter what he does. We got your back.
Yeah. No, he's doing great. He's doing great.
No, it's like if you're an asshole, if Boston's on TV and no matter what your team's playing.
Listen, I'm a big Rangers fan, and Swayman played for Boston. I'm still rooting for him to win, unless it's against the Rangers.
Unless it's playoffs or something like that. If it's the playoffs, whatever, regular season, if you're not rooting for the home, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm different, but yeah. Now playoffs, different story. Whatever team you prefer, yeah. But regular season, come on.
I always root for any Alaskan kid,
Yeah, that's right.
and he's from out here, dude. He's killing it. Good for him.
It's weird. Like my Alaskan loyalty has like driven off to like Team USA loyalty. Like I'm looking at teams, I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of Americans on that team. That's so awesome. I don't know. Do you do that, Scott, or no?
No.
It's all USA all the time.
He's like, fuck everyone but Alaskans.
I hope I was on camera when I said no to you. You're like,
no.
what?
It's not recorded. No one's listening. Let's finish it off real quick with what you got going on.
Let's finish it.
You had Scotty's house. You had Scotty's goes. You got Elevate. And you got the insane videos with you and the cigar and the outfits by the fire with the shit. I'm still pissed off about Johnny Severson giving everyone the
What'd Johnny do?
he gave everyone the smoked salmon recipe after I've been asking him for years, but I let it go.
he
to
did?
Scotty.
I don't think anyone even
I'll
looked
let it
at
go.
it, because if you were smart and you understand how good his
That's what I'm saying.
That's all you do is watch that. There's not been one of our friends or anything like, because we do have a friend, a bunch of like, even when we were younger, I was literally like, how are we not selling this?
Yes.
His
Oh,
smoke
no
say
shit.
so.
It's,
Yeah,
He didn't want to give it up forever, and then he gives it to fucking Scotty's house for the whole world to see. And the first thing I texted him was like, "What the fuck, Johnny? I've been asking for this recipe for all these years, and you're gonna give it to the whole
It's
world
better
now?"
than Thompson's?
Johnny's is fucking top tier, man.
yeah,
I think so,
gotta
dude.
admit, man.
His smoked salmon is fucking
crack.
top 3,
It's
dude.
crack.
It's top 3.
It's
dude.
like one of those things that's like, you can drink. or
Thompson learned from Johnny.
You can eat it when
It's
you're.
the same as Thompson's. Then?
Slightly different, but he learned from Johnny.
It's the strips.
Yep.
It's not even the
Coca-Cola.
strips. It's one of those things like whether you're hungover, hungry, hurting, whatever. You got Johnny's smoked salmon. It's
Oh
it's
my
a
God,
go-to.
that's all you
It's on
need.
point every
Just put a
time.
Is
little
that how
rice in
Johnny
there.
ended up with that raft? Smoked salmon?
Oh, that's how he did it. That's how he did
I
it.
don't even know.
So, are you doing more videos, Scotty? I know you did the Scotty on Go, Scotty's house. Like that shit's so fucking funny, dude.
Yeah, I guess next month I'm supposed to start filming again. They got some ideas, and that sounds horrible. Like it's actually like while I'm filming next month.
Well, I got the
I got
video crew
well,
coming through.
I got you know, after depending on the weather, Daniel.
But I mean, you're doing it for fun, right?
But no, but I'm saying like, yeah, I mean, it was all for fun. It happened. People enjoyed it. Someone wants to try new things.
Okay,
try
so,
again.
so there's some money coming
Well,
behind it.
no. The whole point, everything about. But no, it wasn't that. It was just a dumb idea that the NHL got, and they bought it,
Oh,
and it was like, and yeah, they did
Okay.
5 shows. But at the end of the day, it was literally like all I did was just make fun of my teammates.
that was what was great about it.
But that's what I mean. Like, as long as like some people were like, "Is he losing his mind?" And it was like my friends and everyone were like, "That's actually the real him." Like, that's.
Yeah. I think that was the best thing.
As long as my friends laughed,
Dude.
that's where it was. It didn't matter, and it led to some whatever it did. But like I tell the folks back home, and I tell you guys, the Alaskan Wild Project, it's like, don't retire. Don't fucking retire. It is boring. It is so fucking boring. Like, fuck. I'll make Alaskan Wilders videos.
Well, you were
But
doing
don't ask me a serious question now. I'm telling you right now. Don't fucking retire. It is so boring.
Well, what stopped you were calling games, right?
Oh yeah,
For
you
a little while.
Well, that's boring,
Did
too.
you have fun with that? I mean, was that?
No, I didn't have one bit of fun with it, because at the end of the day, it's like this. The greatest show on earth, and besides the Alaskan Wild Project is the greatest show on earth would have to be Charles Barkley, Shaq, and them on TNT.
Oh yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry,
With the
I'm
personalities.
sorry, man. I've been watching that since.
He just says what the fuck he
I've been
wants to
watching
say.
that since.
Yeah.
I've been watching that since I was a kid. So that's my kind of humor.
Yeah.
That's my kind of humor. Like, I get that, man. So now I get on TV, whatever. That's fine. No, there's only one Charles Barkley. Whatever. But there is one rule that you grow up. Unless I have your guys' bills and I'm paying it, you still got to say what you want to say. And I did grow up loving the sport. I did grow up like there's no lie to it. Why wouldn't you? The people that we grew up with, what you want to hear, what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Like
she couldn't really be herself.
Well, that was the best thing about your little videos and being funny and all that stuff.
It wasn't that when I worked on TV. It was more like, they were awesome, great people, they were great people. Not even gonna, I can't even complain. They were all first class. This and that. But at one point they're like, you can't say that. I was like, why?
Oh, okay.
I was like, why? And they're like, well, that could hurt someone's feelings. I'm like, I don't know that guy.
Geez.
But the whole point of the thing was,
a great answer. Dude.
You asked me. It's like anyone. It's
Can't
like
be
anyone.
authentic.
You asked me. If you ask me a question, I'm going to give my opinion back. I don't know if it's the answer.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to give it back.
Sure.
So, but and it's not anything. It's like you've grown up in life and you've gotten old enough for. Aren't you old enough to answer that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess the question is, can we expect more? More of those funny videos with your hair fucked up and your wine and your cigar?
The hair thing, no, because it was the only time in life where I was like, okay, the pandemic's going. I was like, everyone's growing, and I'm like, let me see where and I didn't cut my hair for 8 months, and it just shows you where I was at. But fuck, it was nice. Again,
that was good.
Flowing. But whatever. But you asked me if this is going to continue the shows.
Yeah.
But you asked that 5 minutes ago, and I answered it. So now
No, you didn't. You skirted around or something else.
I said going to Atlanta.
Okay.
I said going to
Got
shows.
the film crew coming in.
Oh, you
I
got
did.
the film crew coming,
like
dude.
this.
No,
Yeah,
no.
that's what I said.
No, yeah. No, you got it. It went to the next level.
I'm like, hey, did I say that?
No, it's going to the next level.
I don't know. No, they want to try something, whatever. But yeah, so
As long as you keep it real, it don't matter, man. Let these people bring the professional film and all that shit and just do what you've been doing. That's what they want, right?
But it's not that. If you're gonna keep it real and you're gonna do this sound like you got to be professional.
Yeah.
You don't go to your job and not be professional.
Yeah, but
That's the Lou Lamorello story. That's the one thing we did learn. Like that's why when I come to the Alaskan Wild Project, I
2 hours
expect
late?
the best. I was 2 hours late, and I won't even lie. And it's 12:20. It's 12:19 right now. And I'm like, you guys got me till 4.
we're not going to keep you up that way.
I was with Eric Trevithick, and I called you, and I said, hey, man.
You did.
And I felt bad. But I think we're all comfortable now. Yeah.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Any other questions for Scott? We're going to have to bring Scott back.
Yeah.
100%. Are you going to come back?
Probably
Depends
not.
how disgusting.
I mean, the fact you just asked everyone, we got to bring Scott back. They didn't answer.
Like,
I think
Hey, and the best part is, I'm looking right at you like, he didn't even answer me.
just like
I think
kind of tired.
I think my one observation
like,
is
the
Scotty
Cali-
can't sit still. We got to bring him out on the boat and do a live podcast.
Ooh, a live podcast
Okay,
from the
so
boat
I'll be honest with you right
on
now.
a caribou hunt.
I'm not going on no fucking boat and sitting there like, no, because you just said ADD. Yeah, I got ADD and it goes up 100. It goes up 1,000,000 times. I ain't going on no boat. For what? To just talk to you guys? What the fuck, man? Like, is there a
catch a fish.
Is there a game on or
30
something? Like
seconds.
what? Like yeah, like no. And I've always been that friend. That's not a lie. I've always been the honest friend. And they're like, no, I'm not going on that. What? Why would I do that? Why?
Okay, that answers that. We'll work on Scotty coming back
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things we didn't talk about.
Oh,
There's
man.
a lot of things we didn't talk about because the history is long. The history is long. The shadows long as far as like tradition and legendarianism.
Well,
Is that a word? Legendary?
you had us going to. You asked if that's a word, but when you said shadowism, I'm like, what the fuck, Daniel? I'm like, is Michael Jordan behind me right now? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Trajan's back there.
Yeah,
Trajan's
I'm like, is Trajan right here? Like, what the fuck?
Alaska.
I know it usually works, but when before you fucked up with the shadowism, and the shadowism comes into like the might when Columbus came in that night, we're like, what the fuck?
End on a good laugh, though.
Yeah.
A lot of good laughs. I haven't laughed this hard on the show in a long time.
Yeah, it was good.
Scott,
It was
thank
good.
you for that.
How long
Alaska.
has it been?
Long.
long.
Three
So
hours.
that means the customers before me, are you guys? That means they were just lame.
Oh no,
No.
they're all good. Just You brought it out, dude.
I didn't bring it up. I asked you. You haven't laughed this long. I just like, hey, who's the
my
poor
fucking face
bastard
hurts,
who
dude.
came before me?
Well, we won't get into that. Stay wild, Alaska.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Look no further than Alaska's #1 real estate team at alaskashometeam.com. Decades of local experience, knowledge, and expertise in a competitive real estate market. Alaska's Home Team makes buying or selling your home a breeze. Give them a call today at 907-277-3777.
Lady with the Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details. Specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings, retreats, birthdays, bridal, and baby showers. Find Lady with the Plan on Instagram.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska. Built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation. Find their products, such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more at the Treehouse AK and other dispensaries around the state. Ask your local bud tender about AKO.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.